Welcome to episode 55 of Both Down, the #1 Blood Bowl podcast.
That's listened to by Prince.
Dude, seriously?
Oh.
Prince Moranian.
Oh.
That's not even cool. That is Fat Finley there with a too soon joke, if you could even call it a joke.
I don't even know if it's too soon. It's like right now.
It's not right. It was like 10 hours ago.
10 hours ago.
But still. It's a sad day. China and Prince have both died. And somewhere Jewel is freaking out.
Welcome, everybody. This is Scott Prime.
And Kilowoggy.
Steve.
Yes, Steve.
How come we never mentioned, like, your fake last name?
I don't have a fake last name. I have a real name.
You have a fake one.
What is it?
It's Steve.
No, that's a first name.
Cat Crusher.
I would not accept that name. But if you meant Pussy Crusher, yeah!
Let's talk about cats for just a second.
Okay.
Today on Facebook, you posted a cat giving a high five.
I sure did. It's High Five Day.
For High Five Day.
Mm-hmm.
But the cat clearly looks like Adolf Hitler.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Just because he was giving a Sieg Heil. It's a high five.
The funniest thing about your Facebook post was Kent, who is known to dress up sometimes in blackface to mimic his favorite Pittsburgh Pirate baseball players, was like, no, dude, that's Hitler Cat.
Yeah, well, he's very sensitive. We also posted a picture to our Facebook Both Down feed of two cats fighting over swag we sent Rudiger.
I saw that. That's pretty awesome.
That was pretty cool.
They're really fighting. That's what's cool.
It had to come from a house that had cats or something. So if you can't tell, my voice is almost gone. It's better than it has been. That's why the podcast has been delayed.
Well, that's part of it.
It's a lot of it.
No, it is. Yeah, Steve's been somehow under the weather.
I think it's allergies. I think it was a combination of I got some type of illness and then allergies on top of that.
Well, my eyes have been like itchy and gooey the whole last couple of weeks.
Itchy and gooey. That's never a good term.
Well, I don't know.
You ever get your eyes gooey? You know, like you poke them and they just go squish, squish, squish.
Just saying that they've been itchy, so I'm assuming that's allergies too.
Yeah.
So I guess it's that time of the year.
Unfortunately.
So, what's the word, man?
On what? Blood Bowl stuff?
On anything. Blood Bowl stuff? Life?
Started a league, and
I know, isn't that amazing? It's
finally.
We've taken a long break, and our league's finally started.
I got a win in.
You did. You should win it all.
Yeah, that's a damn good team.
One podcast before the season's over, we're going to talk about your dang good team.
Yeah. We might. I mean, I have no problem with it.
And all you guys are doing is killing all the players that I've wanted to play with.
Right. All Scott's teams. Now, to be fair, my Chaos Dwarf team, I have a star player, Habbo, who is block, pro, sure hands, dodge. I think, right?
No sure hands. Block, dodge, pro.
Block, dodge, pro. I thought he had something else.
I think you have another one with sure hands and block.
Okay, I've got block on almost all of them.
Right.
But that guy almost died. Luckily, I have an apothecary who earned his keep.
Yeah, I had a tough game with my Chaos Pack team versus some orcs, and I thought I was going to be down players, so I used my apothecary early, which I should have saved for my star player, League MVP Minotaur, Halleck the Manville, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And about 2 plays before the game ended, he gets strength busted. So
The guy was a beast.
He was a beast. He set the record for casualties in our league last year, and I can't retire him. I should.
You really should.
I should retire him.
Because he's only worth 50,000 more than he should be.
Right. So he has but he has, piling on, stand firm, juggernaut. I think that's all his skills. But
he was good at one point, yes.
But now he has 4 strength, and I know I should cut him and be efficient, but I just, from the role-playing side, I can't do it. He's the league MVP.
I understand.
He has fan favorite.
Yeah.
And he still has 4 strength, so that's going to be good in most cases.
Right. Until he gets strength busted again.
Well, at that point, then you must say it's fate and that he can't hang anymore.
Right. 3-string Minotaur, no thanks.
I'm bringing him back, though, at least for a few more games. We might try to ride out this season. And
Might be a little crazier with him.
well, he might just become a lineman instead of like my blitzer.
I can see that.
I've used him way too much for that. And that's probably why he was wide open to get hit and pounded. But there you go. And I also, playing with my Nurgle team, I have a guy who has a strength +1 and strip ball. And he got strength. Yeah, Beastman. He got strength busted.
Or Pestigore, excuse me.
I'm sorry, Pestigore. And he got strength busted as well. And no regen, so he's going to get cut. He's not worth
no.
just having strip ball on.
No loyalty there.
No loyalty there. So 2 big blows for my 2 teams. And what sucks about the Minotaur is that that's the only reason I brought that team back this year to play that season.
Yeah.
But, oh well, that's what happens. I'll just have to win it all in his honor.
This is Blood Bowl.
Definitely. It's going to be an oncurring theme about getting beat up.
Very well could be. Luckily, my Slan survived, so they just have a shit schedule. They have like the worst schedule. I don't remember who they all are facing, but it's bad. It's like Chaos Dwarves.
Well, it doesn't help that you only have 11
Chaos
players.
Pact. No, nothing on that team helps.
You're the one who played Slan.
I know. And I'm playing them how I wanted, not smart. So
Meaning what? No catchers?
Right, no catchers and with
no
Croxagore.
rerolls?
I started with 2.
Which is not enough.
I'm up to 3 now.
That's good. Maybe that'll help you out.
It'll help. It won't help enough, but it'll help.
Any other fantastic Blood Bowl news?
A lot of Kickstarters going on, and Indiegogos.
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
I did actually sign up for the Pro Box by Iron Golems.
You did?
Yeah. It looked too good. And for it's like 180 euros, which comes to...
It's that much?
I got the top end level. So for 180 euros, which is like $205, I get the box, which has the field, the 2 dugouts, and both teams, and all the accessory pack, and the tokens, and this and that, and these and the others.
So let's play like I'm stupid.
Yeah.
What is a Pro Box for those people who don't know?
Pro Box is a new, I'd say design, but it's not really a design. It is a functional Blood Bowl kit, I guess is the way of saying it. So they've got a fold-up pitch, folds into 8s. You take that out of the middle, and then it also has 2 dugouts. Those dugouts hold your team. So when it's transporting, your team's held in there. And then you can open it up and fold it a certain way, and it becomes a dugout with a place for the knockouts and reserves and injuries, as well as it has a magnetized scoreboard and turn marker and all that.
Does it also have like stands for...
And with the higher levels, you also get stands for the sidelines. You get banners and all kinds of just like accessories.
So for years we've talked about making our own field. You just decided to purchase.
Well, this is an addition too. I mean,
it could work though for that.
Oh yeah, like if you had an actual fold-up field. I don't know the dimensions, so I'm not going to say one way or the other.
But I saw the graphics and stuff. It's really nicely printed.
It does
look
really good.
Yeah.
And like I said, it comes with 2 teams. And it's mostly complete teams. I'm not sure exactly. Like, if they get all of the stretch goals, then it should unlock most of the players. Might need to add an assassin or 2 or something like that. But
what's the teams?
The teams are human and dark elves. And they look really cool. And they're resin. But they look like good quality resin instead of other stuff. But we'll see. It ends, I think May 5th.
So you have a few more weeks.
Yeah.
Well,
I think I
about
wrote
2
it.
weeks if you want to get in on this. The low pledge level for the box and just the field part, it's not a bad price. I thought it was like $60 or something.
I think it was like 65. I'm not positive. But no, it wasn't bad.
I was tempted to, but
And it's the same company that did the what are they called?
the Iron Golems?
Iron
Or
the dwarf
what were they called? Not the Forge. Iron Forge. Or,
Forge Fathers? No, that's
No.
yeah, the Iron Forge, whatever it is. The ones that you got. They're really nice.
Everybody wants to call them the Iron Golems, but it was something.
Yeah, it's okay.
It was the dwarf team from Iron Golems.
Right. And they're really nice, and they came, and you really like them. I've seen them painted up.
Oh yeah, they're great. No, I think the quality on the products can be amazing, but I stopped watching like a few minutes into the video just because I didn't want to be tempted to buy it since
Yeah.
I don't have any money. So
And I honestly think that the video should show it better. Like, I'm pretty sure that you can hold your teams inside the boxes, but it didn't like show the inside. Maybe they're not custom foamed yet or something. I don't know. I posted it on the Facebook thread or the page, and the guy who owns the company, Rick, I guess his name is, said if I had any questions, he'd be happy to answer them. So I might send him some questions, then I might tweet or Facebook out some responses.
for people who listen to other Blood Bowl podcasts, maybe you know Double Skulls, Johnny over there.
Yep.
He's working on that project with Pedro Ramos about the Slime team. And
Stupid Swan team.
I saw the greens for the catchers and stuff today, or I guess it was the other day, but
They
saw it
look
again today,
nice.
so I just like that project's around the corner too. So
Yeah.
very tempting,
I don't really need a third Swan team, at least right now.
but it's sure tempting. Isn't
Sure
it?
is. Not like I need a 8th human team or however many I have.
Right.
So I got 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 3rd ed plastic.
You probably think you do need all that, though.
No,
Come on.
just finishing the GW stuff, and then everything else
Which
is
one would
optional.
you keep if you could just keep one?
The 5th ed.
Fifth ed. Okay.
Yeah. Pretty easy.
Didn't you land some World Cup ones?
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that
we're
GW?
getting I don't think so. I think it's technically Impact.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the World Cup from 2 times ago, human team, with 2011, wasn't it? Or 2007. I don't remember what it was.
before then.
Yeah. It's probably the 2007 one. They're ugly looking.
They have that big wild hair.
Yeah.
And no helmets and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, they're pretty ugly.
Yeah, not a fan.
No
But-
offense whoever made them. So.
No, absolutely not. You suck. But aside from that,
All right. So what are we covering today, Steve?
well, I guess since we went to Buccaneer Bowl, we should do a pirate-themed episode.
Arggh, matey.
Aye.
Aye?
Aye, matey.
Isn't it Arggh, matey?
Well, they do args and they do aye. Aye is more of a ship thing.
Okay.
Aye, me matey, a scurvy lad.
Whatever, dude.
Okay. So, first up, we're going to go ahead and recount our adventures to the Buccaneer Bowl in Wichita.
Then in the second segment, Steve is going to take us back into some of the fluff, or the made-up fluff, or made-up rules, back to the Blood Bowl 2003 annual.
Which got the
also
stuff
published.
from Blood Bowl Magazine 5 and 6.
Right. It's some rules of what? Playing on
Playing on a ship.
Playing on a ship. Okay.
Yeah. With the Buccaneer Bowl had their own special rules, but these are the
Unofficial,
quote,
official.
right, unofficial, official rules from GW.
And then in the third segment, we are actually going to have some fun, and we're going to create our own pirate team.
We are going to do the pirates who don't do anything. Just stand around and have some fun.
I was going Somalian pirates.
Oh, I did VeggieTales.
Oh.
It's going to be completely different then.
Mine have sunglasses and guns.
Mine have sunglasses and guns.
They might
I
be
don't
very
watch
similar.
VeggieTales correctly, I don't think.
Is yours immune to the sunny weather like mine?
Not at all.
Huh.
I didn't do any... I wanted to do a weird add-on rule, but I went against it. But I'll discuss it later.
You really doing VeggieTales?
No. No, I'm not.
I'm really doing Somalian pirates.
I don't doubt that.
It's
No,
steamy.
I am the captain now. Any time during the game, one player can say that and become the captain.
I am the captain now.
One person's the captain. If you knock that one down, injure it. No, I am the captain now, and you become captain.
That's awesome. I like that. I'm gonna have like Super Bowl shirts on that say like, you know, Carolina Panthers 2016 Super Bowl champs.
New England Patriots 1985 Super Bowl champions.
There you go. There you go. This is going to be a great episode.
It'll be something.
All right. With that said, let's take a quick short break here, and then we'll come back with segment number 1.
Both Down is brought to you by Wizards Asylum, your premier source for comics and games in Norman, Oklahoma. Check them out online at their new home, wizardsnorman.com.
All right. We're going to talk about some Buccaneer Bowl.
Held last weekend, which was the... I don't know. Not looking at calendar.
16th.
16th. Okay.
16th of April. It was a non-Scars event, so it was not in our tournament series.
Right. That's because we had one the weekend before, so we can't allow that.
But
that's okay.
This was a tournament held at a mini-con that was like for miniature gaming and stuff like that.
The Flying Monkey GT, which was really just a 40K tournament.
They had other tournaments, but we were the second highest attended other tournament.
Which is sad. I mean, it's not sad, but...
Or as of Saturday, we were the
Right.
highest. There was still a Malifaux tournament. Let's see, they had 40K. They had X-Wing. They had either War Machine or Hordes. I don't know.
I think it was a
which or if
combination.
both.
Yeah.
And then they had a Blood Bowl tournament. And
Yeah, we got 10 entrants, so that was cool.
there was 11, but one guy dropped, so it'd be even.
Yeah.
But no, it was a nice.
Will and Gabriel up there were nice enough to run it.
Yeah, it was a nice smaller event.
It was good. I really enjoyed it. It had some fun pirate rules.
I like having the big attended events, but at the same time, the small events are fairly intimate, and you get to talk to everybody. You get to have a good time with everybody.
I would have enjoyed it more if I was feeling better, but
Sure.
I was having fun.
Yeah, if I would have had some more sleep, then
Yeah.
I probably would have enjoyed it too.
Because it's only 2.5 hours away from us, really. So we woke up at 6 and drove up.
Right.
And
But made for a long day.
it did make for a long day.
So you want to tell everybody what you're taking?
What
you took?
What I took was the Rutgers Point Blue Bloods, my pro elf team. I had 10 linemen, one with block, one with kick. Then I had 2 blitzers, both with dodge and pro. And I took Jordell Freshbreeze, who's 8-3-5-7 with block, diving catch, dodge, leap, sidestep. And 1 reroll.
That's pretty crazy.
And you yourself?
So I took a Norse team, but really they were a corn team.
Right.
In the fact of now that I'm past my 24 out of 24, I'm still trying to look for other races, maybe in the fluff or from the Blood Bowl lore, that I can mimic using the existing 24 teams, but giving myself some like preset rules on what I can and cannot do. So I was going for a corn team, and by corn team, I mean the most obvious skill for them is frenzy.
Of course.
And how hard it is to control. So since Norse comes with a lot of frenzy to begin with, I thought this would be a great opportunity to spam frenzy and try to mimic a corn team. And to be fair, it has the protection of if you're spamming frenzy, at least you got some block on some of those players.
Right.
So my team, they were also pirates, since this whole thing about Buccaneer Bowl was being played on top of a ship. So, and the special rules for that was this ship that before every turn, if you rolled a 1 or a 2, you rolled a d6. And on a 1 or a 2, the ship swayed back and forth. So you rolled the d8, and then all your players scattered, direction.
It made for a fun mechanic.
So I looked in the second edition, I actually went to Lore of Nuffle, and I was looking for maybe something. I knew there was an old team called the South Storm Squids from second edition, which when we played, we made them Norse for some reason. I have no idea why, but we did. So I looked at the Lore of Nuffle to see what team they were, and they don't have them listed as anything. So I guess there's no documentation of what team that truly is, the South Storm Squids. So this was a great opportunity I could do Norse like we played them back when I played second edition, and I can spam the Frenzy to get a Norse worshipping Khorne team. So my team was, I took, let me see here, 7 linemen. 3 of those had Frenzy. 2 Wolf Runners. I stuck with the Khorne theme of being, violent and mean. I didn't take block. I gave them Mighty Blow. I had 2 Berserkers, just like they come, the block, Frenzy, and jump up. And then I took an Ice Troll, and I also put Mighty Blow on him to go with the claws and stuff to kind of be more like that mutant guy for the Khorne team. What is that guy called?
I want to say Plague Bearer, but that's not it.
Oh, gosh.
Pit Demon?
It's some type of demon thing.
Yeah.
Anyways, I can't remember their name right.
Bloodthirster.
Bloodthirster.
Yeah.
In addition, I had the 12 players. In addition, you were allowed to take Sinbad as a special rule for this tournament. And Sinbad he could play on any team, and he came with a skill called Sea Legs. And the special skill Sea Legs gave you the ability to, when the boat shifts, you roll a d6, and on a 1, you shift with the boat. Otherwise, you stand your ground.
Did that ever come in handy?
It came in handy a lot, actually.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Because there was a couple of times that I thought about it, because one of my players got it later on. We'll talk about the kickoff table in a second.
Sure.
But I just didn't care for the most part. I guess if you knew he had it, you could put him by the ball, and then he doesn't move.
Here's the bad thing. Sinbad didn't play great for me. He didn't play bad for me.
Yeah.
I really used him kind of like a lineman in some ways. I tried to run a cage or a loose cage, and he was always on one of the ends of the cage.
Yeah.
That way, if somebody blocked him, he has sidestep, so I could move him around. Nobody ever attacked him. I think he took like 1 hit all tournament or something. I mean, I had him on most of my drives.
Well, he's good, but he doesn't seem like a real threat.
Right. I mean, he was a fancy Norse lineman.
Yeah.
Honestly, for my team. When building this team, I looked at the Khorne team that's online, and I noticed that only 4 players on their team do not have Frenzy. So therefore, that's why I have 4 linemen that don't have Frenzy, and I gave one of them Sure Hands to be my ball carrier.
Okay.
So I did go as maximum Frenzy as I could, trying to duplicate a Khorne team, and it turned out pretty well, actually, I thought. And, since I was taking Sinbad, and they were Norse, and like I said, the second edition thing, we said that that's what they were. So I just turned these guys into pirates.
Makes sense.
Khorne-loving Norse pirates. I also had 2 re-rolls, and then I had an assistant coach and a cheerleader, which I thought, hey, that's going to help me win a lot of kickoff results. And it really didn't.
That rarely happens.
No. So,
where
do you want to go from here?
We want to just go over quickly who we played and everything?
Sure. You want to do all yours first?
We want to go round by round?
We can do round by round.
First round, I played Joseph Kirschner. Whatever their names are.
It starts with a K.
Kirschgessner, I think. He played his Lizard Man team. He had a lot of bottle, which I had never gone up against before. I promptly knocked his ass out, and he didn't come back, so that was nice. But he had a Croxagore with block and had sidestep on one of his skinks. Just kind of a basic Lizard Man team. It wasn't really that hard. Like, I focused on his skinks.
Right.
And he focused on hurting me, which I kind of let him. And then I just kept going after those skinks and taking them down one by one by one. And it got to the point where, I'm elves. I only need a few people on the field, especially with Jordell. Jeez. All I cared about was having Jordell and my blitzers. Everybody else is up for grabs.
Right.
So people went down. I fouled. People, whatever. I just got rid of his guys as much as I could. But he hurt me a lot. But I didn't get any of my good guys. So I went up on him. I stopped him from scoring. I received. So I stopped him from scoring at the end of the first half by using Jordell's witchy elf magic, being awesome. And then, like I said, just whittled him down. He didn't have enough skinks to score fast enough, and won that one. I think I won it 2-0. I want to say.
Oh, good for you.
No, 2-1. I guess I did let him score. But still, yeah, I still won.
Well, good.
Man, Jordell. He's a beast. I mean, I cannot state that enough. I took him because he had sidestep. I figured with the ship rocking back and forth, that and give sidestep to my two blitzers, it kind of made sure that I could try to maneuver people to the sidelines and not go out myself.
Right.
Which did help. I had a lot of times that came in super handy. But that leap and 5 agility, just going into tackle zones, like 3 tackle zones, leaping in, picking up the ball, and then dodging out for not a 1 is just like, ugh. Okay, got it, and touchdown.
Oh, Steve.
Yep.
Enjoying the pleasures of 5 agility.
It's pretty damn nice.
So the first round, I played against a guy who is, it depends how you want to call this. I would say he's a very seasoned vet of Blood Bowl. I played a guy named Kendall Bowser. It was his first tabletop tournament. When I sat down, Will explained it. He's like, hey, we got a new guy here. He's played online some. And then talking to Kendall, he's played over 700 games online.
He's played some.
Some. So inside I'm going like, well, this guy's going to probably be a better player than me. Because
literally we have not played 700 games combined.
I'm almost definite that I have never played 700 games of Blood Bowl.
Yeah, there's no way.
And so I guess that's the difference when you play online. You can really rack up a lot of games in a short amount of time if you want to sit in front of your computer because there's always somebody willing to play. So honestly, immediately I was worried because I was like, if this guy's an online game, if he's played 700 games, he's probably good. He's not one of those guys who takes his lumps. He's probably good at it, so that's why he plays a lot.
He may not know how to do a kickoff, but he knows how to position.
I'm glad you brought that up. There was a few little rules that he did not know, like he set up for kick because he had the kick skill, and he didn't realize that. Oh, it's half. It's like no, it's not. It's you get to choose. That's the difference between tabletop and cyanide. And I think he liked that a lot. His team was 4 blitzers. He took dark elves, 4 blitzers, a witch elf, a runner, and the rest linemen. He had 3 rerolls. He had doubled up on some skills, dodge, sidestep on 1 blitzer, dodge on 1 blitzer, kick on 1 blitzer, and then tackle mighty blow on 1 blitzer. So, I'm thinking I have three guys with mighty blow. I can maybe wear this guy down, maybe have a chance at this game.
Right.
For at least the first half, it was one of, and I don't mean anything against Kendall. It was one of the most boring games I've ever played a Blood Bowl in my life because he played it correctly. He was very mechanical in, okay, you're going to hit I kick off to you. You're going to get those 3 hits on my guys. Now I'm going to get them up. I'm going to dodge them away. Right. And then I'm going to blitz you 1 time with my guy, and then I'm going to back off. Mm-hmm. And that's how every play was. It was me blitz him, hopefully, and knock him down. And sometimes my ice troll would like to roar, so he never did my blitz. And we went back and forth with just 1 hit apiece on both sides. So freaking boring. Was it the right thing to do? Of course it was.
Yeah.
He actually forced me into a spot where I had to I had him kind of committed on one side, and I decided to throw a little pass to probably break it open for a score the next play. And, of course, I fumbled the ball, so it was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Story of the game. We ended up tying 0-0. We ran out of time. There was like one play left. But we ran out of time. Time was called. It was 0-0. My 3 Mighty Blow guys, I think, injured one of his guys.
Jeez.
His one Mighty Blow guy injured at least 3 of my guys. At least 3 of my guys. He was breaking armor. And anytime that Mighty Blow guy of his hit my guys, busted armor.
Right.
I was furiously frustrated. So bad that I had to go get my little Walkman and listen to some tunes and try to chill out and not give up on the game because I was about to go on tilt.
Yeah.
I hate Mighty Blow. After one game, I can tell you, I hated Mighty Blow. I was mad that I took the skill because it's never...
It's so situational.
You think it's going to at least work every now and then.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. It doesn't. So I was really pissed at this point. But I got a tie, 0-0, and we move on to round 2.
Okay. Round 2, I got put up against Dave, right?
Was he the guy dressed like a pirate?
He was indeed dressed like a pirate.
So some of the tie-breaking rules, one of our guys...
Which most people didn't read.
Scott Hess, who went with us, or traveled up there in a separate car, but came from Oklahoma, came up there with us. He's like, why is that guy dressed like a pirate? Don't you think that's weird? And I was like, did you not read the rules? That was one of the tiebreakers, that if you were tied at a certain thing, it was a talk like a pirate tiebreaker, and then whoever's dressed most like a pirate. This guy came full to the hilt.
Yep.
He looked like a pirate.
Nice guy. I guess he's one of their local guys.
You don't remember him, do you?
No.
Remember when we went up to Emerald City Cup?
Yeah.
And you're facing your Chaos Pack team versus a Chaos Dwarf team, and he had crap luck, and you just demolished him? That was the same guy with a longer beard.
Well, if you dress like a pirate, I'm not going to remember you. That's just how it works.
I was thinking the whole time, Steve doesn't know who that is.
No. Steve doesn't remember anybody hardly anymore. Steve's old. But, so I'm playing him, and I was happy because, one of the first things I do is knock one of his blockers straight into the water and casualty him. So he's down a blocker, which is good news for me. But all that tackle just was a pain in the butt. So we're playing through, and he's going down the field, and he scores, and kicks off to me. I think this is how it worked anyways. I had to do some elf magic to get the ball from him, pick it up, throw it, long bomb, catch it, go down the field. And, again, Jordell leaping and throwing, just amazing. So I was all happy because my dice were working so well that I was able to tie it at the end of the first half. And then I'm going down the field for the second half, and I'm doing well, and he's able to get a hit on me. I'm not too worried, but because I have my elves down the field, and they should be a problem. But he hits me with his bull centaur, and the ball bounces to the bull centaur, who has 2 people around him, and he catches the ball.
Well, that's what Chaos Dwarves do.
Right. So then I'm not able to take him down next turn, I think. So then on his next turn, he blitzes me with the bull centaur. Now, he hits one of my guys that has sidestep. So I position my guy to where I think the best position is going to be, because obviously he's just going to stop and not continue moving. No, he dodged away with the bull centaur and got it, and then went for it 3 times and got him, and he was pretty much out of reach for me. And I could have maneuvered the sidestep guy to block him, and he would have gone the other way. but I really didn't think he would do that. And if he did do it, there was a chance that he'd fall and the ball would be near the sidelines, and that was more beneficial for me.
Right.
So I played the odds. Odds didn't go with me, and he beat me 2-1.
Ooh.
So
You went down.
only due to luck.
Dude,
But
that guy was dressed like a pirate.
he was dressed like a pirate.
My game 2 was against your game 1 opponent. This was Joseph Kirschgessner,
Right.
or whatever his name is. Kirschgessner?
It's fine. Okay.
Joseph K. Just like Steve said, he had Lizardman, Lotto Bottle, which I've never seen before. And I didn't realize that guy had like all those kind of weird skills, like diving tackle.
They're
jump
good,
up.
but I don't know if they're good for how he played.
Oh, I think
He seems like he's a much better Slan player or Slan star player than he is Lizards.
I think Joseph's style would have been better for Hemlock.
Oh,
That way
definitely.
he could
Yeah.
caught, because he wanted to maim people and hurt people.
Yeah,
and
he likes
everything
hurting people. I don't blame him.
So our game started off, I got to kick off, and I thought just stay in control as much as you can. I was furious the whole first half because I couldn't injure anybody. Long story short, I was doing what you were doing. I kept hitting the skinks and hitting the skinks and hitting the skinks and hitting the skinks. With my Mighty Blow guys, knocking them down left and right. Never injured any of them.
Jeez.
In game 1, we had the boat move maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
In the first half alone, we had the boat move like 5 times in this game.
Jeez.
So I was getting really frustrated with my Mighty Blow, and surprisingly, my Frenzy, when I was trying to take people off the pitch, I got really lucky with the way he lined up, and he did it both halves. So he didn't learn from this. He gave me opportunity to chain push a guy 2 spaces and then hit him with another guy out of bounds. And he lined up first and second half the same way, where I had an opportunity to do that. The bad thing is I rolled terrible on both those opportunities. I ate a reroll and then I rolled bad, so it worked out for him. But long story short, the Frenzy pushed guys to the edge, and I was lucky that the ship swayed even in the second half. There was 2 times where I knocked 3 of his guys in the water because of the way the boat moved, and then people got pushed out.
3 people each time?
Each time.
Wow.
So I really rode the sidelines on that, but I could never get him out. But the boat knocked him out for me. So if you fell off the boat from the boat swaying back and forth, you rolled just like if the crowd would hurt you.
Yeah.
Well, the crowd was beating up people left and right. So, like, I had his casualty box filled up, but I had 0
But you
casualties.
didn't do it.
Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't until, I think, let's see, I scored, he scored, and then I had the last drive. You know, I had like 4 plays to try to score. It wasn't until like play 7 when I broke an armor of a skink and knocked one out. Which was my only injury with my Mighty Blow guys. Wow. I couldn't do anything to him. I was so mad at Mighty Blow. So mad. I was happy with the result, though. I won 2-1, and it kind of looked like I was brilliant because I had this Frenzy that kept his guys on the edge, which allowed the ship to take him when it was ready. So
that is your play. I mean, that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah, but there's so many times I could have knocked him out of bounds that it didn't happen. I was just, And the ice troll up at this point, he's not breaking any armor with this claw Mighty Blow thing. It's just such a frustrating day. The troll screaming and hollering. Jeez. I know I shouldn't be bitching and moaning because at this point I'm 1 win, 1 tie. But it was just an awful dice day.
Yeah.
I was furious. Even somebody at lunch goes like, "Why are you so mad? You're doing okay." And I'm like, "I'm furious."
Because it's not working how I want it to.
I was tweeting evil things. I was cussing you out for bringing me. And Jervis Johnson for creating the game and everybody else.
But we had pizza for lunch.
We did. We went to a pizza place called Picasso's.
It smelled amazing.
Smelled amazing.
It tasted
amazing.
Pretty crap. It didn't look amazing. It was big. It had big slices. But it wasn't that good.
I bet that's the kind of place that there's something really good there. We just didn't get it.
It's not the pizza. It was the cookies.
The cookies were amazing.
The cookies were amazing, and they were only $1.
Kendall got some type of slice of pizza that looked really good, and he said it tasted good too. It was honestly, if we paid $4 a slice for that pizza, and we would have been okay with it. The fact is that we paid $15.
I don't know how much I paid. I don't blah blah blah.
I paid $15 for 2 slices of pizza and a drink, and it wasn't that good. Now, if that was $8, I probably wouldn't.
I don't even know how much I paid because I ordered 2 slices and a soft drink, and she didn't ring up both. So then I was like, "Oh, that's not so bad." And then she goes, "Oh, did you get blah blah blah?" I'm like, "Yeah." "Oh, I didn't ring you up." So I had to pay another $4. I'm like, "Ugh."
It was what it was.
Yeah, that's fine.
But we got to share some pizza with Kendall and Dave, the pirate, and Joseph Roberts from Kansas City. So
speaking
it was a good
of, when we got back, my third round was against Joe Roberts. He is Heartstell Hedonists, an amazing-looking beast or a chaos team.
Beautiful paint jobs.
It distracted me so much when I was playing. I'm just like, I don't want to hit these.
If you ever run into him and you get to see this team, stop and look at how the guy who painted them numbered them.
It reminded me of Grebo's logo. You know how Grebo has like that slash of green?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what it looked like.
It was beautiful.
It had a fading effect on the numbers. It was just so good. But he had a Minotaur with block and claws, 2 Beastmen with wrestle, Chaos Warrior with block, and a Chaos Warrior with block and sure hands. This one, his Minotaur was just not doing anything. We barely had the ship roll at all. I don't remember much about the game, but I ended up winning 2-0. I don't know if I hurt him or it was just, I think it was just elves being elves. Like, I couldn't do anything wrong.
Well, that's good, right?
Yeah. He was happy to
so
finally
what's the score?
play. It was 2-0.
2-0. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I mean, this is like right after lunch, and I was just...
Steve had food in his belly. He can't remember.
Steve wasn't feeling good. Steve was just pushing through.
So I knew by the matchups going into lunch that I was either going to play Joseph Roberts or Scott Hess.
Mm-hmm.
And Scott's in our league, down here. And I definitely didn't want to play him because at tournaments, I think he's won like the last 3 or 4 times. I mean, I have a terrible record against people from our league in tournaments, and I didn't want to play Scott again. He was playing High Elves, and that's who I got matched up against.
Of course.
Besides, Joseph Roberts, I've never played before, and he's a nice guy. And I thought,
yeah, he was happy to play one of us at least.
Yeah,
until I beat him.
He's like, I hate you guys.
Right.
So, got to play your games, right? So, it was my Norse versus the High Elves that Scott won at Oklahoma Bowl. And he had Prince Moranian, and he had Soren Hightower on his team, 2 other star players, and a bunch of High Elf linemen. And I think that's in some rerolls. I think it was a very plain team that needed those star players to do well for him to do well.
Yeah.
I think he had block and maybe kick on a guy or something.
How'd the star players do? Because Moranian's never really... Neither one has really leapt out at me and gone, play me.
Right. Prince Moranian got hurt really early. Really early. So he got knocked out of the game. This game I dominated on injuries and KOs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I beat Scott up a lot through crowd pushes and the boat shifting.
Yeah.
I went up 1-0. Game came back around to, he got some players back. A little momentum started going his way, and then all of a sudden he rolled for a pass. My disturbing presence on the ice troll actually kicked in because he ran up and he was going to pass, and I was like, well, I got disturbing presence. And he was like, oh, I got to work around that. So he decided to go for it to the outside edges with Soren Hightower, and he failed it. And then I think he lonered it and failed that. So he was stuck with going down, which was a big deal.
Yeah.
And then I got the ball back, and long story short, I won 2-0. It was probably a pretty frustrating game for him. It was nice to beat him at a tournament, though, for once.
Yeah.
So going into round 4, I was two wins and a tie.
I was 2 wins and a loss.
I was still very frustrated with Mighty Blow.
And for some reason, I guess because you already played him, I got teamed up with
Kindle.
Is that why?
Well, I mean, when there's 10 people and
Right.
you play 4 rounds, there's only so many matchups. I think the 2 highest matchups, and there's bonus points at this tournament.
Yeah.
So I already played Kindle. So even if it was supposed to be me and Kindle as the highest points going in, which I don't think it was. I think you and Kindle I hardly got any bonus points. Anyways, you were at the top table against Kindle, who I played. And at this point, he had 2 wins and a tie.
Right.
And then I was playing Dave the Pirate, who had 2 wins and a loss, I guess.
Okay.
At this point.
Yeah. So why don't you go with your game first then?
Okay. So I played Dave. I was...
Because you're technically at second table, right?
I'm at second table.
Yeah.
So Dave's team is exactly like Steve said, this Chaos Dwarf team. I, too... a few times calculated that Dave's not going to dodge away with his Bull Centaurs because it's too big of a risk.
Right. He really, really used those Bull Centaurs.
And he used them, and he wasn't afraid to dodge with them or
Right.
go for it, and it all worked out in his favor. So here's how our game went. I was controlling right off the bat. I actually hurt a few guys, like by knocking them off the pitch and stuff like that.
Right.
And I was up by men, and I was like, this is awesome. You know, it's exactly what you want to do to Chaos Dwarves. You want to get rid of the Bull Centaurs and this and that. So I'm trying to stall out the half and hopefully score at the last play. Well, then he starts beating the hell out of my team. I mean, anytime I fall down, my armor's going to break. And most of the time, it takes me off the field. It's tons of knockouts. I mean, at one point, I had 6 people in my KO box. He forced me to score, I think, turn 5 or turn 6 in the first half. I mean, I just couldn't hold out any longer. I just didn't have any players, and he was going to tackle me. So I went ahead and scored. I think I'm learning, like, better to get the points and play defense.
Right.
Don't sell yourself short on defense. You know what you're doing, and that makes people roll dice, and maybe they'll make a mistake. So I scored. I had him... I thought I played it right. I had him trapped and this and that, and sure enough, he was not scared to do a play where he handed off to a Bull Centaur, dodge away, run up the field.
It's amazing how often that worked for him.
And he scored. So it was 1-0 at halftime.
Yeah.
I luckily recovered quite a few of my guys. Unfortunately,
So 1-0 or 1-all?
I'm sorry, it's 1-1.
Okay.
He recovers all of his guys, I believe, too. So we start the second half. I think it's 10-on-10. Well, he starts to drive. No, that's not true. Something happens. Either he mispicks up the ball or something like that. It was like a quick turnover on the kickoff. So I'm like, I got to rush this guy because I don't have as many players and I don't want him to be around me. So I put the heavy pressure on him. And I'm thinking probably next play, or if not the next play after that, I'm going to go up 2-1, and then I just got to play defense. Well, we fight it out in the whole back half of his half of the field. But he just starts wiping me out every turn, at least a player every turn. The last 2 or 3 plays, I think it was the last 3 plays, I had 3 players on the pitch. I had to turn into elves.
Mm-hmm.
I had 2 linemen and an ice troll. At one point, the ball's at the midfield, and luckily he can't pick up the ball. He keeps dropping the ball when he needs to do it, and when he did have the ball, I'd do a 1-die dot. I'd do a dodge and then hit him with 1 dice, and I'd knock him over. So I had to dodge this guy out. I went over, picked up the ball in traffic, and I was just going to throw it, punt it downfield. And then I was like, I might as well throw it to the ice troll. That way, if he misses, if I somehow roll a 5 or 6, and the guy doesn't catch it, it'll be in his tackle zone.
Right.
And he's close to the end zone where I could blitz and maybe pick up the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I roll a 6 on this long ball. Not a bomb, but a long pass.
Yeah.
I roll a 6 to catch it. I'm mad because at this point I already blitzed with the ice troll, so I can't move him. But I'm happy, and now I put pressure on him.
Mm-hmm.
Next play, he knocks one of my guys out. No, he knocks the ice troll out, tackling him. So now I'm down to 2 guys. But time is ticking. Tick, 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 tick. And we're running out of time, and he counts up the squares. And his only option is to hand off to this hobgoblin and dodge through some traffic. And he misses the handoff. Well, in the remaining plays or whatever, he pitch clears me. I hate to say that.
Jeez.
He actually pitch clear. There was one guy left on the field, and as soon as that happened, I just shook his hand and said, "Good game" and stuff like that, because I was just happy to get out of there with a tie.
Right.
And then I realized, I was like, "I'm sorry." I was like, we're starting to put up our miniatures. I was like, "You actually could go kick me if you wanted to, if you really wanted to get the bonus points with the pitch clear." Thinking it doesn't matter. He's not going to do it. Sure enough, that guy pitch cleared me. He went over and kicked me, casual to me. He got the. I never thought that would happen to me.
Right.
Ever. I thought there was a better chance of me getting last place at a tournament before being pitch cleared. So
Norse, tell you.
I got pitch cleared with Norse, and somehow I still tied that game 1-1. So I'm 2 wins, 2 losses.
No.
I'm sorry, 2 ties. And honestly, at this point, I'm happy because I noticed we have a lot of trophies. I figured I had enough points to get third.
You should get something.
I thought it was either going to be third or maybe best defense.
Right.
So
my last game is against. God dang it!
you want to call him Landon or Kenneth?
I want to call him Leland.
It's not that.
I know.
It's Kendall.
It's Kendall. So the last game was against Kendall that Scott has already talked about, his Dark Elf team. I was worried about his Witch Elf because I know how good Witch Elves are. But he didn't really use her much.
I remember when you guys set up to play, he said, it's just a plain witch elf. And I thought, even a plain witch elf is pretty awesome,
Right.
dude.
But
It's just a witch elf.
Right. So my biggest worry, aside from that, and really the thing that came in the worst, was his tackle guy. Because with his tackle guy, he was able to get my star player down. And Jordell went down a lot, but he never got hurt. He got stunned a couple of times, but he never went off the pitch. So he was able to just get back up and keep going. So I believe I received the ball, worked my way down the field, and I wanted to hurt him because I was getting a couple of casualties or a couple of guys knocked out. But I figured I should just take the score. So I took the score and played defense. And I want to say we had like 5 or 6 turns that first half to go. And I'm not the best on defense, but I think I'm better than I used to be. And I made my way, and I stopped him, and I tied up people. Because it was pretty, from what I could tell, it looked like he wanted to throw to his essentially outside receivers. He'd send 2 people down the field as options to throw to. So I'd always put an elf by those 2. Like, he could knock me down, but I'm making him waste a hit or, whatever. So I was able to tie up people most part, and then whenever he'd get the ball, I'd leap in with Jordell, knock the ball away, and just be annoying. So up 1-0 at half. Second half comes, he receives, and he's taking the ball down the sideline, but not like on the sideline because of the rules, about 3 squares away. But I have all 3 of my sidestep pieces going down the field with him. So he's got his guy and then a semi-cage around him. And I would just, hit with my sidestep pieces. And, they have block dodge. So they're hard as hell to take down anyways. And I just kind of kept him on the sidelines for a while. And as I'm doing that, because at the time he's got the ball with his block dodge sidestep guy, which is also annoying. And the ship gets a wave, and everybody moves 1 square closer to the edge. So now he's like 2 squares away from the edge. and I'm still, keeping him from moving down too much, so we're just like a little bit further than halfway or the line of scrimmage, and it goes to the next turn, and it moves one square closer to the edge. So now all of his guys are right on the line, and he tries to hit me, I maneuver, and I make it to where he can't move forward, so his guy's just kind of sitting there. So his guy with the ball is in the square, and he's got sidestep. And I'm not falling into the trap of hitting him. I let him stay there because I can tell he wants me to hit him, so that he'll move out, and then he can dodge away.
That's a great point. In our game in game 1, as we were running out of time in turns, he sent that sidestepper out, which I based him. And I know he wanted me to hit him. Mm-hmm. That way I would miss the hit, and then he would sidestep one step closer, which would have put him scoring within reach.
Right.
Because all he would have had to do is go for it to score, and I didn't. I didn't bite.
No.
I was so proud of myself. Because in the past, I probably would have went, I got a good chance of knocking him down.
Right. When I had the sidestep, I felt secure enough that he wasn't going to hit me, and if he did, I could maneuver. So, with it getting closer and closer to the edge, now his ball carrier is right on the edge. I've got a guy, he's got a guy right in front of him, and then I plug up the rest of the holes, and then I blitz, and I hit the ball carrier with one of my guys, and he has nowhere else to go but off the pitch.
Oh, isn't that awesome?
And I rolled both down. So we both stood there. And he was happy. He's like, yeah, I survived. I'm cool. You're celebrating too soon. So I moved up one other guy to do a chain push. I filled in another hole. Uh-huh. So I hit one of his guys, pushed him into one of my guys, which pushed him into another guy, which pushed him into the ball carrier and sent the ball carrier off the edge. And he was pissed. Not like mad, but just like,
sure,
I can't
I
believe.
get it.
So the ball comes back in, and unfortunately, it doesn't go the direction I wanted. It goes more towards his people. And then the start of his turn, the way the ship goes again, one square to the side, takes off one of my guys and three of his.
Oh, gosh.
And
that's a game changer.
It casualtied one of my guys, but knocked out two of his and reserved one of his. But ultimately, we never had another kickoff, so it never mattered.
Right. Yeah, that's a game changer.
So had those people off, and he was able to get the ball, and I could tell what he was wanting to do. Again, he had people downfield, which he just kind of kept downfield so that he could throw. So it was becoming the end of the turn or end of the game, and we're at like turn 7. I'm trying to speed things up and getting everything done. So time gets called, and I'm up 1-0. And he's doing that whole thing of, I could have, just more time, I could have won or tied it. And I was able to finish out my turn because we have even turns. Mm-hmm. So I did what I was going to do, which was I already knocked down one of his scoring opportunity guys, and it was the witch elf that was left standing, mm-hmm. and I knocked her down, and I casualtied her. So he had no chance of scoring. So it was more definitive going, nope, you're not going to score. You don't need to feel like you almost got a tie. You didn't. But I was so happy with my defense on that game. That was one of the best games of defense I've played. Because just maneuvering and because he was good, like you said.
Oh, let me tell you something. He's from the Kansas City area. Mm-hmm. If he travels to more SCARS events, I would look out, folks.
Yeah. But I was very happy, so I ended the day with 3 wins and a loss, which was good enough for first.
Yeah.
So I won the whole thing.
You won first, and then I think by like 11 or 16 points.
Yeah.
And second place was me.
Exactly.
So, which shocked me because I didn't get many bonus points, but I won second.
I didn't get any bonus points.
I won by 2 points over third place, which was Dave the Pirate.
We were freaking. Scott freaked me out because I was a little out of it still, but we screwed up the math, and Scott was like, well, he's got 3 wins and a tie.
Well, see, I didn't.
So he's going, or 2 wins and 2 ties,
see,
and he's got more bonus points than you. And I'm like, what?
Well, I knew Dave got clear the pitch bonus points from me, plus some other stuff. And I thought he had 2 wins and a tie. I didn't
2 wins
realize
and 2 ties.
2 wins and 2 ties, which with our points, that's the equivalent of having 3 wins. So
Right.
me, you, and him all had 3 wins, and it's come down to bonus points. But I didn't realize Dave had a loss.
Yeah.
Going,
Which saved my butt.
right.
Because I had no bonus points, pretty much. And he would have won if he had a tie instead of a
Sure.
loss.
But he didn't. So
Exactly.
he got third. Scott Hess picked up best offense. Kendall picked up best defense.
I
Joseph,
surprisingly got fan favorite for my team,
right.
which makes no sense.
Well, here's the deal. There was 10 people there. I don't think anybody painted their own team.
Pretty much, that was the main problem.
And then the people voted, and there was a tie, so they just rolled off.
Yeah.
So it is
fine
what
with
it
it.
is. Take it.
I'll give it to Nathan if he ever replies to my email.
Joseph Kirschgessner got most casualties. And then best sports went to Joseph Roberts.
Yeah.
And I think that's all the awards.
Sounds right.
Yeah, I believe that's it. All of them.
Yeah.
So it was a fun little day.
It was. Especially winning. That helps.
Well,
But it was fun anyways.
I'm very happy I got second place. I didn't feel like I earned any victories or ties, and I was frustrated. But reflecting on the tournament, I didn't hate my team.
We didn't really go over the kickoff rules, but they weren't too much different.
No, the kickoff rules, there was a
Kraken
few.
could get you, or
Yeah, there was a Kraken rule.
you can get sea legs if the Kraken does get you.
Right. And
Just
you know how
kinda
you were asking me how that came into effect? There
Yeah.
was a few times where the boat swayed, and my Sinbad kept his ground, which other players were going to be pushed into him.
Mm-hmm.
And that allowed me actually a few times, the way I lined him up, and honestly, it was by accident, not on purpose. It's kept like 3 guys from getting, just pushed around because he held the line.
Oh, on that last game, there was a time before all the wackiness of knocking people off that there were, or it might have been after that, I can't remember, but the ball was right there on the sidelines, and there were 4 of his people in an L around the ball, so like getting it would be hard as hell.
Let me guess, the boat moved?
The boat moved. All 4 of his people went 1 square away from the ball. I was able to stand up with Jordell, go pick up the ball, throw a long bomb.
Well, that's okay. That happened to me, but in his favor
Yeah.
in our game.
That's what it was. It was after that because that's how I was able to clear the ball, but then he was able to knock me down, and he
Right.
got it again.
So while everything all the players on the pitch swayed back and forth as the boat moved, the ball stayed where it was at. It was just declared that it's a spiky ball. It doesn't
Right.
move.
Unless
Which-
someone, ran into it, and then it
got knocked into it, which I think was a good rule. I got to admit, when I read the rules, it sounded kind of fun, but I didn't think it would work for a tournament or a tournament, that's timed and everything. I like the rules a lot, actually. It was a lot of fun.
One thing I learned throughout the day that it's always best if just one person moved the models.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
you
I
would
totally
start
agree.
doing one side, the other guy would start doing, and you wouldn't be paying attention. You get to the middle, and he'd be like, "Did you do that one? No, I did. Did you?"
Right. In most of my games, when that happened, I tried to just let the other guy
Right.
move him because that's what he wanted to do. So,
But yeah, other than that, it was a lot of fun.
yeah, I hope there's a Buccaneer Bowl too next year. So, it was a lot of fun, and I don't mind it being a small crowd.
No, it's always fun to do pirate stuff too.
Arggh, my booty.
Treat me like a pirate. Show me that booty. Treat me like a pirate.
What
Show
is
me-
that from?
Turquoise Jeep. They're a
that-
band.
That's a real song.
Yeah,
You listen to a lot of crap.
yeah, but it's good. Flint Flossie and whatchamacallit.
What is that?
What's their names?
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's fine. They also do the song, How Do You Like Your Eggs, Fried or Fertilized?
Oh, that explains a lot.
Let Me Smang It, Smash It and Bang It. Let Me Smang It. Something about I apologize to the maid for making the room so dirty or something. A lot of real good songs.
Sounds like stuff maybe Brian too should download for his son.
They're classy. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, real classy.
Maybe Jeffro can let his son listen to those as
Hopefully.
well as wear a both down t-shirt.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that wraps up.
Oh, do we want to
Bowl.
talk about Spanglers?
Nope.
Okay.
We're not even going to give them any credit. Basically, we get teased a lot because all our tournament stuff is talking about us playing Blood Bowl and eating food. Well, all the food sucked this year.
It really did.
So it just sucked.
Yeah.
So we're not going to talk about it.
Okay. Then we're going to go on to segment number 2. How to play like a pirate. Welcome back to Both Down After Dark with Stephen Scott. And for full clarity, it's now been 3 days since we tried to record.
Oh, man, you broke the fourth wall.
Well, figured they'd want to know. There was a no-hitter. We had to watch the end of that. And then we're like, we'll just finish it tomorrow. And then tomorrow became Saturday. And then Saturday became Sunday. And now it's Sunday. So
yeah.
But it is after dark.
I did shoot Saturday night for girl time. So
yeah.
So
and Scott and I are wearing matching Both Down property shirts.
Well, we are.
We're kind of...
I thought we were just going to play it up like nothing's changed, and we did it all in one night, and you were being lazy editing it. But okay.
It's more fun doing this.
So it's been 3 days since we last podcast.
Yeah. People like to know what happens. Well, it also comes into play because now I've gotten questions in and back on something that we'll talk about later.
Oh, that's great.
So this segment, we're going to be talking about how the fluff actually dealt with playing on a ship. And it was Oh, did I write that down? Crap. I don't think I wrote down. I think it was Blood Bowl magazines 5 and 6.
It's also in the Blood Bowl annual 2003 annual.
This is true.
Which is where I found it. So
yeah, I have issue 6, which had part 2, and I was trying to find number 5 online, and I kind of found it. And then Scott's like, "Is this it?" I'm like, oh, well, it makes it much easier. So essentially, the fluff dealt with them trying to play Blood Bowl on a ship, which didn't exactly work out too well because it is a ship, and there's a lot of things that go wrong. And when there's a mast and there's holds and all this. Crap, I should have gotten all the fluff about... There was something to do about they outlawed it because they started getting Blood Bowl players instead of seamen to play. Like actual pirates and stuff.
Okay.
But then the Blood Bowl players didn't know how to do the ship stuff. So then the ship started failing and crashing and not being able to do the job. So it got outlawed. And they did a elf by the name of Arggghh.
Right.
Arggghh or whatever. R''HUGBI. Came up with some rules.
See, it's that simple, folks. You want to have a pun name, you want to make a joke,
right.
Just change the spelling.
This is much more rugby-style rules.
Okay.
Because, for instance, the main thing is the ship. You can't really do a kickoff too well when there's a mast. So instead of kicking off, they do a pitchback from the line of scrimmage. Same basic rules.
That's in rugby too, right?
Yeah.
They do something like that?
Yeah, you line up at the scrum and then you send it back. So it's more of a rugby style in that way. Might as well just go straight through and start with the weather.
Okay.
Because it is on a ship. So it's going to be at sea, so you're going to have different types of weather. Same 12, do 2d6. If you get a 2 or 3, it's called howling gales. And passes are only quick and short, and if the wave hits, you move 3 instead of 2. And
okay.
We'll get to the wave in a minute. On 4, it's a dead calm, and if the wave hits, you only move 1.
Okay. Then we have 5 through 9. We have nice weather, the perfect Blood Bowl weather, or fancy and ice cream is what it says in the rule book. What is that?
It's fancy. Now you can have ice cream. I don't know. Oh, fancy and ice cream. Do you want to have an ice cream?
Oh, okay.
It's English. Do you fancy it?
Oh, okay.
No offense, English.
And then you have 10 and 11 is the rain. Heavy rain makes the ball difficult to hold, and the deck slippery. This causes a -1 modifier for all attempts to pass, catch, and pick up the ball. In addition, players attempting to move extra spaces will slip and fall on a 1 or 2. Ooh.
I didn't realize you had all the fluff there.
Yeah, I have all the fluff here, too.
You want to read what 2 and 3 was, Howling Gales?
Oh, sure.
I don't have the fluff on my sheets.
Oh, okay. 2 and 3, the Howling Gales. Strong winds wind up the sea, and it says buffet the ship,
Yeah.
making passing difficult. Players attempting to pass the ball are limited to quick and short range passes, and the wave hits and will move on a player's 3 spaces instead of 2.
Yeah, okay.
So it's relatively the same thing you have.
Right. But just no fluff. And we are
I got you.
fluff. So.
12. If you roll a 12, it's the raging storm. A terrible storm has hit. Rain lashes down, and giant waves smash against the ship, sending sea spray across the deck. There's a -1 modifier on all attempts to pick up, catch, and pass the ball. And the players attempting to move extra squares will slip on a fall on a 1 or 2. So it's very similar to the rain. In addition, players attempting to pass the ball are limited to quick and short ranges, and any missed passes scatter 6 spaces instead of 3. A wave will move players 3 spaces. So this is very similar to how we kind of do Oklahoma Bowl, where it's the same weather things, but then they just increase and merge and stuff
They
like
kind
that.
of combine.
Man, maybe
Except scattering 6 spaces. I like that.
maybe Oklahoma Bowl should be played on a ship next year. I'm already digging the extra weather. But I like extra weather, so
Yeah. Not everybody does.
You know how mad people would be if we did crazy weather at Spiky in addition to Oklahoma Bowl?
Jeez. No. They would not be happy.
We could have Destro make the weather dominator, and he's not around, so Spiky Norman gets in there and controls the weather.
I like it. Because, yeah, Joe, they travel different universes. Dusty died in a different universe.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. All right, so, as I said, the kickoff is replaced with a rugby snap, and they yell hit 3 times. And on the 3rd time, they throw the ball back. You just use regular kicking rules, except you can't use kick, and there are no touchbacks.
Okay.
So if it goes out of bounds, it just gets thrown in like normal. So let's go to the snap table. On 2, you get Thar She Blows. Just as the 3rd hit is called, a legendary sea monster is woken from its sleep and rises from the deep to see what all the commotion is. Whilst the crew fight the thing off, the game gets underway, but it still manages to wrap its tentacles around some of the players on the field, pulling them into the water. Both players roll 1d6 to see how many tentacles attack the opposing team. Randomize each attack amongst the on-field players. Each hit moves the chosen player 4 spaces towards the nearest board edge, it's the opponent's choice, or as close to it if the 4th space is occupied. The same player can be dragged more than once, and the movement can take a player overboard.
I want to say right now, folks,
That's crazy.
these rules, from what I've read, are crazy old Games Workshop rules,
Oh, yeah.
where it's not streamlined, it's very complicated, and you're going to have this book open and page marked and everything else. So
You play your game, and if half your team dies, half your team dies. That's just kind of how it works.
yeah, that's what Pirate Bowl is, or whatever this is called.
What was this called?
In the book, it's just called All at Sea.
Yeah, it's
Blood
called
Bowl on
something
boats.
Yeah, it's close enough.
But that's what it's called in the yearbook. So I don't know what it's called in the original articles.
Yeah, I should have wrote that down. I didn't. That's okay. This is why people need to buy the magazines.
The old magazines.
Not like anybody needs to buy those. Okay, and number 3, we have Mutiny.
Mutiny!
The ship's captain has removed the referee from office, appalled at his complete lack of authority over the players, and replaced him with a man made of sterner stuff, i.e. himself. Despite possessing balls a harpoon couldn't dent, the sea air must do something to the pigskin. He doesn't know the first thing about Blood Bowl, meaning that for the rest of the half, no player will be sent off for committing a foul. At the end of the half, normal service resumes as game officials ply him with copious amounts of rum and set him in his cabin away from all the loud noises and excitement.
Neat. So that's what is it? Get the ref?
Yeah, it's like the 2 result.
Okay, so number 4 is walk the plank. Arggh, you be a traitorous dog, and that be no lie. The ship's captain has a slight difference of opinion with one of the staff. Both teams roll 2d6 and add the number of coaches to the roll. Count both head coaches and assistants, which I always think is silly because if you're the head coach, why even bother?
Having an assistant?
No. You know how like you're playing Blood Bowl, you're the head coach, and you have assistants? It's saying add both head coaches.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
It's kind of like +1, +1 doesn't matter.
I gotcha.
I guess it's just part of adding to their...
It's the fluff.
Yeah. The side that scores the lowest, both if tied, is forced to choose one member of his staff, the wizard, apothecary, coach, etc., to walk the plank and may therefore not make use of him for the rest of the match. So therefore, we would roll.
Yeah.
The lowest guy would be like, okay,
that is weird.
You're the lowest guy. You're one of your cheerleaders. Walks the plank.
Or apothecary.
This
is when you could roster wizards too, wasn't it?
This is during the magazine time, which I did not play, but there was a lot of extra rules that a lot of people played.
I think you could roster a wizard because it says it's rostered. So.
Oh yeah, I'm assuming so. I'm sure there was special expansion rules too.
Yeah. And then if you don't have one, you just lose a reroll. Is that what it is?
Make him walk the plank and therefore not make use of him for the rest of the match. No, that's it.
Okay.
If you just...
I got mine off of a website who is using the old rules for something. So
okay, well
mine's different.
Okay, no, this one just means you like if you had one cheerleader and you made me walk the plank, then if that kickoff, for some reason happens, then
gotcha.
Don't get to use them.
5 is yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. The captain leads everyone in the singing of uplifting sea shanty. Both coaches roll 2d6 and add their team's fame and cheerleaders to the score. The side with the highest total, rerolls tie, get a bonus reroll for this half.
Yours says fame. Mine says fan factor. Oh, it's the same thing, I guess.
It's not the same thing.
No, it's not.
But this is mine is probably post the rule changes.
Sure.
So, well, maybe you should just read all of them then, since you have the better stuff.
No, not necessarily. You don't want me reading all these.
No.
Number 6, seasick. Some of the players start scrambling to the sickly swing.
Succumbing to the sickly swing.
Is that succumbing? Okay. Succumbing to the sickly swaying of the sea and miss the drive due to a sudden bout of nausea. Roll 1 dice for each player on the field. On a score of 1, the player is unable to join the drive and must be left in the reserve box. Both coaches may make substitutions for sick players and reset their teams before the snap takes place. I find that interesting.
That's not so bad. It's better if you have reserves, obviously.
Right. But I find that interesting that you can roll and then make adjustments.
Yeah.
It's not... Yeah. So
it's not too overpowering.
Number 7, sea weather. The weather seems to be changing. Make a new roll on the sea weather table and apply the new result for the rest of the match or until you roll this result again.
Is 8 just quick snap?
Yes, 8 is quick snap on my thing too. Exactly the same as the kickoff table.
Why go through all the bother? I guess not everything's different. They just couldn't come up with an idea for that one.
Maybe they thought that was really important.
All right. 9, she canna talk no more. I don't know why. It's Scottish, but it is.
Scottish pirate.
Mm-hmm. The chief artisans come up to take a breather from patching all the holes, because you can get holes that we'll explain later. Nobody can understand him. Roll 2d6 and compare the score with the number of hold tokens in play. If the score is less than the number of tokens, the ship has started sinking. Waves hit every turn.
Okay.
That'll make more sense later, obviously. And 10's basically...
Raid the hole.
Basically the same thing
Raid
as
the
our
hold.
now.
I'm sorry. Raid the hold.
Right.
The receiving team call a classic fake play and smash their way into the ship's hold before snapping the ball. Before anyone realizes what's happening, the team grabs 1d6 times 10,000 gold pieces worth of booty to add to its team treasury. Unfortunately, this play allows the defending team to act before the receiving team can reset. So the defending team get a free turn as explained in Blitz on the kickoff table.
Okay, so this is absolutely nothing like what I was reading. So that's really cool.
Yours is totally different.
It's a little different. It's different enough that I didn't think it was. I thought it was the same as the
That's okay.
blitz.
I'll round out the next two.
But that's actually like that because you get extra gold, and it's the blitz for the receiving team.
Right.
That's cool.
Before the receiving team. Let's see. Unfortunately, this play allows the defending team to act before the receiving team can reset.
Oh, okay. So the receiving team's the one grabbing the booty.
Right.
Oh, okay. So it is kind of the same, but the receiving team gets paid.
At least
for
you get some money for it.
I would not be upset to money sometimes.
Like I got a freaking blitz, but at least I got 60,000, which allowed me to buy my ogre or whatever.
Right. Yeah. 11. Rock. A monstrous seabird searching for a tasty morsel with which to feed its ravenous offspring espies the ship from upon high and descends, giant talons outstretched, and attempts to pluck one of the players from the field.
I love this.
Both players roll a die, re-roll ties. One randomly chosen player from the team that scored the lowest suffers the attack. Roll for injury straight away. In addition to, and regardless of result, if you score a double on the injury roll, the player is struggled free only to drop into the ocean. So, only if you get doubles is he taken off the pitch. Otherwise, he's just hurt.
Right.
I kind of want him just to be taken off the pitch no matter what.
Well, that's kind of funny, too. But
Yeah.
it's still good. I love the fact that this giant bird is coming down. And you're like, what the hell, man?
Excuse me. 12. Boarding action. The fans overwhelm the officials with the direct assault on the ship, and amidst the chaos and confusion, their team sneaks its entire squad onto the field. Both coaches roll 2d6 and add their fan factor to the score, which I guess nowadays it would be fame because of how the rules have changed.
Right.
Both teams may set up again, with the highest scoring coach, both if tied, being allowed to field their entire squad without penalty. By the time a touchdown is scored or the half ends, some semblance of order has been reestablished, and the team must set up normally.
That would be hell.
So if you were playing a Goblin team that had like 16 players,
right?
Bam. There you go. All 16.
There's advantages in this Pirate Bowl or Ship Bowl or whatever it's called to having a full roster.
I wonder, when the rules were done, if you pretty much had a full roster. Because isn't this... I guess you made your teams by that time and bought players, right?
Yeah, you bought your players and stuff too. But
okay.
I think this was the time, and somebody out there can correct me if I'm wrong. If you were playing around 2002, 2003, I think they had I don't know if they had the inducements that we know today, because there was a time where you had inducements where you look at the different monies, and then you would say, like, you get 3 rolls on the inducement chart, and you could roll to see... like, oh, I got a rogue wizard.
Right.
Oh, she's got game.
Okay.
It was like a lot of the card things, but you got to roll randomly and get those. So I wouldn't know. I was deep into HeroClix at the time.
2003?
Mm-hmm. You were too.
Wow. Yeah, I guess so.
It's a long time ago, my friend.
I didn't think about the game being that recent.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. So when did we start?
HeroClix?
No.
Blood Bowl? About 2007.
Huh. So the game really wasn't out of production that long before we got into it.
No.
Okay.
It was around, I think, 2000, 2002 that I bought a copy. I got a copy from, like, 3rd edition that had, like, the annual and stuff in it for my birthday.
Okay. Just never put the time together. Well, the game, as previously stated, there are waves. So kind of like how we did in Kansas, the waves were done a little bit different. Hoping that this is the same as you have there.
Hey, you just want to take mine?
Or I'll just take yours.
Don't trust no website, dude.
Apparently not.
That might be some dude in Guam who just made up some stuff. He said, I don't like these changes.
Now you just pissed off everybody in Guam.
Well, there's about 4 people there and a military base. Sorry, dudes. No, I don't know.
Right.
I mean, I know your source. You went because you only had half the rules, but
well, also it was easier to copy and paste than double check.
No problem.
That was my bad. So, in order to represent the waves hitting, At the start of each drive, you get a marker, and it's called the wave marker, obviously. And you put it onto the turn tracker to make sure you don't forget. And the template has a 1 as to the front of the ship, the 6 to the back of it's like the north end zone, south end zone.
Mm-hmm.
2 and 3 is to the left, 4 and 5 is to the right.
Right.
Port, bow, stern, starboard, however.
Okay.
So you place the template at the side of the pitch, as it is. So to find out if it hits, like I said, you put it on your turn marker. So if you're like on turn 3, you roll the D8, and if it shows up as a 3, the wave hits. I guess, 1 out of 8 chance every time?
Sure.
It's not too great.
But the waves in this is way different than what we played in Kansas.
Yeah, everybody moves 2. So it's either forward, back, left, or right, depending on the D6 that you roll.
Right. It wasn't a D8. It was you get 1 of 4 directions.
Right, which makes it a lot easier, but not as fun. And doesn't happen as often. But the weather changes all of that. So when you move, like I said, you move just 2 spaces. However, you can be stopped by a player or a mast or an unmovable object, which we'll get to. And even if you're prone, you would get moved. And if the ball is loose, it also moves.
Yes.
So that's kind of different than before.
Right.
Because the ball would stay. I like the ball staying better, but
I thought the rules we played up in Kansas with the ball staying was actually really changed
the dynamic in a lot
the dynamic of it.
Yeah.
People being knocked into the ball and stuff like that.
So the ball itself will not fall off the edge because it has a railing. However,
and there's no crowd out in the ocean to throw it back in. So that's
there is a flotilla. If the ball does go out by any other means, they said that there's a flotilla of. Well, this is for people who get fall out. So if the ball goes off, it gets thrown in by the guy in the crow's nest.
Okay.
But he can't control it well, so you do it just like the regular throw-in. So basically the rule's not any different. There's just a little fluff behind it.
Okay.
Which makes it fun.
So technically the ball gets lost, and then that guy pitches out another one. Okay.
So if a player falls off, though, there is a flotilla of ships around with divers and rescue people. So you fall off, and you immediately apply your armor roll as an injury, or your armor value as an injury. So it's just show that if you have more armor, you sink faster. So if you have except for trees float apparently.
Okay.
So there's no automatic.
That is definitely coming out of 2nd edition, 3rd edition stuff.
Right. So
trees float.
If you're stunty and you have a 5 armor or 6 armor, you just go into the reserves. You get put back on. You're easy.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
If you have
whatever your
9,
armor is, that's exactly what your injury is.
Right.
So if I had an ogre with, for some strange reason, a +1 armor, and he goes overboard, he's automatically casualty.
Yeah, he would be.
Wow.
And dwarves with 9 armor would automatically be knocked out, even though they're thick-skulled.
Well, thick-skulled works on 8s.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Oh, well, yeah, sorry. Yes.
Right.
I'm just saying, whatever.
That's cool.
But then, once that does, basically they do this for each turn. The wording of the rules is weird, but it just goes onto your turn marker, and you have a 1 in 8 chance of it happening every time.
So if it's my turn 2, I roll the wave thing, and if I roll a 2, using an 8-sided dice?
Yes. And that's the thing that screwed
hits.
me up is it says you use the scatter die.
Oh, okay.
Well, they just say a D8. I wouldn't be screwed up, but yeah.
Well, it's the scatter die. I mean,
right. That makes sense.
So what's some other little? I know there's some.
Yeah.
I just kind of breezed over it. You gonna go over cannons?
Sure. Cannons. There's 1 for each half of the ship.
So just in case we lost you, we're playing on top of a boat. There's a mast in the middle of it.
Well, actually, you can have as many masts as you want.
Okay, so you can tailor make your.
So basically, yeah, you do tailor make your board, and you can use it. You do it however you want.
Okay.
Typically, if you do a mast, it takes up 1 square. It's immovable. If you go to it, you can't throw through it. You can't see through it. You can't walk through it or anything.
Okay.
It's like there's a giant mast. if you put it on the line of scrimmage, it has to go on both sides.
Okay, so it takes up
So
two
it's fair
spaces.
for both.
Okay, so the cannons also, you
Cannons,
customize those?
You can have them one for either half. Just says one square, impassable, same as the mast. So it sounds like you just put them wherever you want.
Okay.
Now you can actually use the cannon. So the player standing next to the cannon may take a cannon action. You have to be standing next to it at the beginning of the turn. You can't move and do it. Or you can stuff a right.
So it's kind of like throwing a bomb. You can't move and throw a bomb.
Right.
So, okay.
It says that you can put a right stuff player in it and use that. So I'm assuming they would have to be standing next to it as well. It doesn't really state if they
That
have
is
to be
awesome. You can shoot a snotling or a goblin. Or
Right.
That is awesome.
I would judge that they have to be standing next to the guy by the cannon. So they would probably be allowed to be 2 squares away from the cannon, if that makes sense.
Sure. He grabs them, stuffs them in. And...
Right. So each cannon can be fired once per turn, and you choose an opponent and roll a single block die. So basically you get to aim it, and you get to choose an opponent, and then you roll the block die. If you roll a POW, it's a direct hit, they get knocked down, and you treat it as normal. If it's the dodge POW, defender stumbles, it's a good shot. You hit someone, but not who you intended. A standing player on the deck from the opposing team, chosen by the opponent, is knocked over. Roll as normal. So if you were shooting at me and you're hitting somebody, but I get to say who.
That's still pretty good.
Still good, yeah.
That's a 33% chance of...
Taking somebody down.
Yep. And I'm assuming you having dodge and rolling defender stumbles doesn't matter.
Right.
It's just a result on the...
It's a cannonball.
Cannonball. Okay.
It's hitting you. I will save the push for last.
Okay.
Both down, our favorite. Blast. The cannon doesn't fire. The player shooting it looks into the barrel to find out why, and it goes off. And then you get knocked down and roll as normal.
Okay.
And then a skull is bang, and the cannon explodes. You remove it from the game. Every player standing next to it is knocked down. And if a player from the moving team falls, it's turnover. Which I don't know how a player from the moving team wouldn't fall down, since you have to be next to it to fire it. But that's how it's written.
Okay.
So the push is the interesting one. It's missed. The shot scatters 3 times from the target. Anyone standing in the square it ends on is knocked down. Otherwise, it goes through the deck, taking any downed player with it. So if this happens to be somebody, they get knocked down. If there's someone on the ground, or if it's empty, it just goes straight through.
This goes back to your kickoff result, which was number 9.
Yeah, with the
you
holes.
Can't take no more.
So if the hole happens, goes through, you put a old token on the deck, and you can no longer move onto that square by choice. And if you're pushed into it, you fall into the clutches of an irate crew below, and you roll injury. And if the ball goes in, you put the scatter template over the hole, and you roll 2d6. So you can repair a hole once after every half. So if you're doing this a lot, you can get a lot of holes. And then if you get that kickoff result, you're going down.
Is cannonball once per turn?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's per person if you buy it. So you can do it 16 times.
Oh, both sides could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
If the ball gets scattered into the mast, it's destroyed. The sail falls down, and you do a pitch invasion, basically.
Okay.
Because you're scrambling and trying to avoid getting hit with stuff. Which, I guess it says it doesn't say you can just completely aim for the mast, but I'm guessing you can't.
I would assume that you have to have a target, which is your team, not a space on the floor.
That's no fun. It'd be fun to just take down the mast.
Well, Captain Rugby would not like that.
That he wouldn't. But that's the main rules. And there's, I think in the annual, which I didn't have a chance to look at too much, there's rules for walking the plank. And you can actually add planks to it. It's like optional rules, in addition to the optional rules.
Okay.
But it actually sounds like a lot of fun.
All right, can I read this really quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is in my book here. The Living Cannonball. Let's see. Cannonballs aren't the only thing that you can fire from the cannon. Players with right stuff skill have absolute trust in their teammates and are quite willing to climb into the cannon to attempt the ultimate crowd pleaser. The Living Cannonball. This action is played out exactly the same way as throwing teammates, so it also counts as a pass, with the exception of the cannon replacing the need for the throw teammate skill. Though you still need someone to fire the cannon. And it can't be the player you are about to fire, obviously.
Gonzo does it all the time.
Well, that'd be a great name for a guy.
Gonzo?
Yeah, just to...
The Incredible?
Okay, I'm going to be real honest. Like, I've always seen these rules, and I've read over them in the past, and they seem so-so, but after playing in Kansas...
Yeah.
This kind of makes me want to play this.
We could do a tournament.
Anyways, so we continue on. So the Living Cannonball player must have the right stuff and be adjacent to the cannon to be fired.
Okay, so it does say that.
Uh-huh. But is otherwise free to take his action either before or after the firing. Choose your target square, any empty square on the field.
Yeah.
And roll the block dice applying the results. The pushes. Is it a bird? Everything goes to plan and the crowd roar with delight. Scatter the player from the target square 6 times and attempt a landing as normal.
Jeez.
Both down. Puh. The fuse fails to ignite, and nothing happens. The right stuffer climbs back out to see what the problem is and loses his action for this turn. Defender stumbles. Is, oh, ouch, eek. The right stuffer tumbles out of the barrel with his trousers on fire. He is knocked over in his current space and must take an armor injury roll as normal. The pow, the explosion, the whoosh. The right stuffer launches from the cannon like a missile. Scatter him from the target space 6 times. Anyone in the space where he lands is pushed back and knocked down. The right stuffer is also knocked down. Both take armor injury rolls as normal. If the space is unoccupied, there is nothing to cushion the impact, resulting in the right stuffer smashing through the deck, just like a cannonball. God. The ship is holed, and the right stuffer counts as having fallen through it.
So straight injury roll.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And then a skull is boom. The cannon explodes, sending the little guy into orbit in several million directions. The cannon is destroyed and removed from the board, as is the right stuffer. All adjacent players are knocked down and must take armor injury rolls as normal. The right stuff player is never seen again. Not one piece at least. Wow, I want to play this so bad now.
Yeah.
Though as a consolation, at least he made his mark on the game. The stain will never come out. The countless people will get to see him, even taste what he's made of. And not all of them were even at the match or on the same continent. If the right stuffer should scatter into the mass, place him prone on the previous space, just like a ball, and roll the armor injury immediately. If he should, by chance, scatter into a cannon square, then any adjacent opposing player may immediately fire him back.
That is awesome.
Fire him back following the above procedure. This is free and does not affect the following turn. So it's kind of like when you pass the bomb around.
Yeah.
Ah, that is brilliant.
So I'm thinking, for the league, if you can't make your match,
you have to
play on a pirate ship.
Whew. This we're gonna have to somehow figure out something to do with this and just try
it's a lot of rules,
and maybe look at those rules that you found on the net because they might have.
I think they were adjusted for a tournament, so we make a little bit of adjustments. And we kind of break it down easily because there's a lot of fluff to it. I mean, the kickoff table's not too bad. It's just a lot of fluff, which is cool.
It's you could just tell the time period that it was written in. And
Man, now I want a pirate ship. I've always wanted a pirate ship, though.
You have
that one at Chaos Cup that was there the year before.
Yep,
we went, and it's so nice.
Yeah, well, you could make your own pirate ship.
Yeah, but that one was so nice, and I didn't have to make it.
So here's what I say, folks:
Build me a pirate ship.
If you want to run a pirate tournament, maybe look towards what the guys did up in Kansas.
That was a lot easier.
It was very simplistic and easy, and it didn't take up a lot of time. Now, if you're at home and you're not running a full-fledged time tournament...
Like, this might be good to replace one of our tournaments, like Alcorn or NIT.
Right, exactly.
But, added an actual tournament, all those roles and all the different stuff is just going to be a pain.
But this would be a great little side event for your store league or whatever that you don't have time games.
Yeah.
Where you play one game a week or whatever. So
I have no idea why you would ever... If you cared about your players, I don't know why you would put one in a cannon. That's just way too risky.
Well, this is back...
this is back when you actually teleported and went into people.
I want an ogre team. That way you could just waste it. Who cares if they're 20,000?
Oh, that is true. That is very true.
Send them anywhere you want.
Hey, snotling all over the place. Whatever. We got plenty.
Once again, these rules are found in the Blood Bowl 2003 annual and Blood Bowl magazines 5 and 6.
Yeah, the annual is probably the best place to get it. So I think it also has the plank rules, which seemed cool. Basically just added on to the length of the ship. Not a whole lot to it.
Well, cool. Well, anything else you want to say besides I know you're dying to play this now?
Arr.
Arr.
Arr, I'd be wanting to play, matey.
All right, we're going to take a quick little break, and then we're going to come back with some pirate teams.
Right. Arr.
All right, we're back for some create your own pirate team.
Build a pirate with Scott and Steve. With Scott and Steve.
All right, so for the record, I think we have enough teams in Blood Bowl.
For the record, I would always appreciate another team if it fits.
Steve would be fine with 60 teams.
He actually would.
He likes the dread ball model of having a lot of teams. They do have a lot of teams.
They do, yeah.
And you kind of like that. I like taking teams that exist, and if you want something, like I've talked about earlier in this episode, if you want a corn team, then spam Frenzy. If you want a Bretonian team, spam Fend or
Fair
whatever.
enough. Yeah.
Okay? I, more than anything, it's,
And I will say that I showed my team to Brian Hill, who, have we had him on the podcast?
I don't think he's ever been. I think
He
we've
never
talked
has.
about him.
He's a weirdo.
We might have. We've been around so
I don't
long.
know.
I don't know if we've ever had him on.
Anyways, he's one of our league players, or used to be and will be in the future. He's off for baby stuff. But
Making them babies.
they already made him. Now he's just trying to keep him from dying. So,
Wow.
that's what you do as a parent.
You're right, but
That's
very directly like, wow.
what you do. That is your job as a parent. You try to keep kids from dying.
You're right. I mean, I
Okay.
can't dismiss you because they put everything in their mouth and they...
Right. Don't do this. Don't do that.
I know.
Don't talk to
you're
straight.
right.
Yeah.
You're right, but people... That's called just parenting. People don't want to hear about dead kids.
No, I didn't bring up dead kids. You
Okay.
did. I
We
was
said
talking
that-
about live kids and trying to keep them that way.
Okay, well...
You're the one who said dead kids.
Okay.
Anyways, I showed him the team just kind of to get some feedback. And he said he liked it, but it's not too different from a human or a Norse team. Which I countered with the fact of they are humans, so they're going to be kind of sort of along the same line.
Sure, I get that.
So, which it goes with your thing, because he played a pirate team with all pirate models, but used them as Norse.
Right. He's also the same guy who wanted a ninja team
Mm-hmm.
and one of the guys trained in martial arts, so he chose Dark Elves
Right.
to represent that high agility.
Which
and
makes
stuff
sense.
Like that.
So that's where he comes from. I happen to just enjoy making teams and seeing them. But,
I get either side, honestly.
Right.
It's just when you teach the game or like when you want new people to get it, it's hard
Right.
to tell them like how to memorize, 50 teams and everything
Yeah.
else. So, but we're going to give this a try anyways. All
Okay.
right. So I have a feeling me and you are already going to have a lot of the same pirate names or rankings on the
positions.
ship.
Yeah. There's
But-
only, because there's only so many positions on a ship.
So I'm going to start off first with the lineman position, the mate. Mine is a 0 to 16, 6 movement, 3 strength, 3 agility, 7 armor, access to general skills only, but the ability on doubles to get all the other things. So agility, strength, passing, mutation.
Makes sense. That's what I forgot, is to figure out the singles and doubles.
That's okay. I don't have everything here. I mean,
Okay.
we're not expert team builders.
And how much was it?
This guy's are 40,000.
Makes sense.
So they're
just like a thrall.
They're pretty much like a thrall.
Okay.
Then the next position up is a rigger, and what from I was reading on them, they're the guys who do the agility guys who go through the mast and
Right, make sure everything's up and running.
right. So they have to scramble around the ship, and it's a very dangerous job. So these are a 0 to 4 positional. They have 3 movement. I'm sorry,
Wow.
6.
They go everywhere, so they have 3 movements.
So they have 3 movement. I thought, what a challenge.
They're busy, you know.
No, they have a 6 movement, 3 strength, 3 agility, 8 armor. They come with nerves of steel, sure hands, jump up. Now, if you want to argue that sure hands is not right for them, then I would gladly substitute that with pro, because I see these guys as the guys who kind of are jumping around. They kind of know where they're going.
I like pro much better.
And we don't really have the character that comes with pro.
Right.
So that's why I went with sure hands first. They have access to general and passing with the ability to get strength, agility, and mutations on doubles. And these guys are 100K.
Okay.
So you have your really ragtag guys, and then you have these guys next up. And then a 0 to 2 positional. I kind of look at these guys as what a human blitzer would be. These are the quartermasters, which I know you probably only have 1 quartermaster on your ship, but
Yeah.
anyways, I needed a position.
This is where we
name.
differ.
So I have a quartermaster. He has 7 movement, 3 strength, 3 agility, 8 armor, has access to general, strength, passing, and then can get agility or mutation on doubles.
Nice.
They come with stab, because they carry a sword, block and thick skull, and they're 110K. And you can only get 2 of these guys.
Okay.
So these are the main positions you're going to have. And then I have a couple little extra positions.
Okay.
So, and there's this, you know, I think you have it on there because I kind of cheated and looked over your shoulder.
Oh.
You have like a master gunner, I think is what you're calling yours. And I have a master gunner position too, but mine is really more in the vein of like a cabin boy or somebody who is the guy lugging the gunpowder around, the powder monkey, and that's what I have him.
Oh, okay.
Mine is called the powder monkey. He's a 0 to 1 positional. He has 5 movement, 2 strength, 3 agility, 6 armor. So he's kind of built like a halfling. Matter of fact, he comes with stunty, secret weapon, bombardier, and sneaky git.
I almost made that exact same thing, but I have so many positions and stuff that I cut him.
Okay.
But it was almost the exact same thing.
He only has access to general and doubles on everything else. I have him at 50K. That is probably... I don't know how to space out the money with secret weapons, so I don't know if that's really right or if it should be 60K. But that's what I have him. He's a young boy he's a young. I want to be a pirate one day. So he has the stunty, but he doesn't have the dodge. So he can move around.
Right.
He can get hurt more, but he can also throw bombs. So,
Yeah.
And then last but not least, I felt like this team is in the vein of the humans or the Norse or the Amazons. And I know the Amazons don't have a large monster, but these teams that have like that one large monster option. And I kind of went a little bit of Pirates of the Caribbean here on this, since they're traveling the world and they're pirates. And so they befriended kind of this, what I'm calling the sea swab. So he's like, he's kind of probably the dumbest guy on the ship, but he's also the strongest guy.
So he's a big guy. Okay.
So he's a big guy, 0 to 1.
With tentacles for a mouth.
Tentacles for, he's from...
He's Davy Jones. Yeah.
Yeah, however you want to look at it. He has 4 movement, 5 strength, 1 agility, 9 armor, access to strength, and then everything else is on a doubles. he has, and this might be broken, but I see octopi, and I see crab guy. So he has tentacles, claw, stupidity, thick skull, because he's hard-headed, or a thick shell. And then he has some regen, because he's got that shark cartilage in him.
Jeez.
For 140K, that might be
a little low.
Might be low. I don't know.
Although one of my positions is low.
But the stupidity's really bad.
Yeah.
Claw's pretty good. Tentacles is pretty good. So I don't know. Rerolls I have set at...
Wait, so does he get... What's his skills access?
Oh, I'm sorry. He has strength access to skills, and everything else is on a double.
I would like that better if he had mutation as a single and everything else as a double. Because that would kind of justify the lower price, because mutation's not as good.
So just a natural mutation?
A natural muter, yeah.
That would be different.
Because
we've never seen that.
Right.
Yeah.
And it kind of fits with the character.
Sure, because there's a lot of creepy, crawly Cthulhu things in the ocean that we eat on sushi that we probably shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
We're going to get it one day. Rerolls are 70,000.
Hey, I did that too.
Just because they're pirates, man. They can't get along.
Exactly.
And I think we took a little bit different approach here, but we'll talk about yours in a second. I just took star players from the book.
Oh, okay. I made some.
And that's fine, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have easily done something like that. It's begging for like a Davy Jones or some type of character, you know. So I went with Sinbad because he's a pirate.
He is.
Morg because he plays everywhere.
Right.
Bomber Dribblesnot because his model wears a pirate hat.
This is true.
So he could be a little goblin, annoying pirate guy. Mm-hmm. And besides, I see the pirates kind of as a ragtag bunch of pirates. So these guys could probably tag along, and a lot of the theme here is secret weapons. Fez Glitch, the crazy
nice. Yeah.
Skaven guy with the ball and chain. Horkon, I can't pronounce his name. Horkon Heartripper, the Dark Elf with the stabbies.
Yeah.
Dark elves are supposedly known in the old fluff of the Warhammer, you know, that they travel the seas and they have their own pirate ships.
My Dark Elf
like
team is
your Dark
on a
Elves
pirate ship.
Are, themed off the pirates. So Harkon Heartripper really kind of looks piratey.
Fits, yeah.
I mean, they would listen to him.
And an assassin would be on a pirate ship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then that scoundrel Zarg Mad-Eye. That guy sounds like a pirate. And I wanted to get some type of little chaos dwarf, little evil jerk on there.
He's the bombardier?
He's the one that has he's the chaos dwarf with the gun.
The blunderbuss?
The blunderbuss, yes.
So, is the one with the accurate and stuff? No, wait, that's Far Blast. So he is a bombardier, right?
Well, he doesn't throw bombs. He's like the, Beric Farblast is the good dwarf bazooka. This guy's the blunderbuss, but the same effect. This guy has 4 strength though.
Yeah,
3 agility, and he has like sure hands. I've used him plenty of times.
Okay.
When I played Chaos Dwarves and for inducements, but he has secret weapon as well.
Oh, okay.
So
that makes sense.
Usually I just use him to pick up the ball and trot down the field 4 spaces at a time. But you know, if you want to grind out the half, he's good to have. So those are my 6-star players that can go with these pirates.
So the way I see it, your team is more of a pirate that is being employed by the old world people to hunt down other pirates. Sounds like you have a bigger ship than I do, because you got more positions, and like your captain and your bosun and that are off actually doing ship stuff.
Right. So yeah, my thing is I thought about doing a captain position like how they did back in some of the old books. They did like a vampire lord.
Right.
But I thought, no, the coach is the captain, so I'm going to put him out there.
Okay.
And that's kind of the way I went. I kind of figured it up the math, and I just did it really quick, but I was able to get 12 guys, I think 12 guys, and an apothecary and 2 rerolls for, $1 million.
I think mine, you can get most positions and a couple rerolls for $1 million, $1.1 million, something like that.
Right. So
that's what I tried.
I don't know how well this would work, but it was kind of fun doing it.
My team, like I said, it's going with more of a smaller ship, so there's not multiple quartermasters and stuff. My 0 to 16 position is also a mate. It's 50K, 6338. Done.
Human lineman.
My team is more hardened than yours. They're
Okay.
stronger, they're tougher, is how I see it.
Okay.
I have a swabby position, but I'll get to that last. My next one is Gunner, 0 to 2. He's 6'3", with nerves of steel.
Okay.
So, nothing amazing. He's 70. My idea was more along basically your ball handler type. So he'd have agility in passing.
So he's 6'3", with
Yeah.
starts with nerves of steel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're pirates.
That's kind of a cool idea. A quarterback, so
Right. And they can be positional.
gunner, he guns
Yeah.
the ball around. That's cool.
Because it's the same. They're the regular gunners who are moving stuff around the ship. Getting stuff going to
Sure.
below deck and stuff.
Okay.
So, like I said, I thought of a powder monkey, but I didn't go that route. My next one is my favorite position. 0 to 2 is the rigger. So, smaller ship. I only have 2. You had 4.
Okay.
7, 2, 3, 9.
Whoa.
Dodge, sidestep, and jump up. So they're 110. And they'd have agility access only. And then everything else is doubles.
So they're like your catchers.
They are absolutely the catchers.
Okay.
With built-in dodge, sidestep, and jump up. The armor might be a little high, and it is really high, but I figured it counteracts the 2 strength, and they're pirates, so the riggers I figure are used to falling down from all the heights. You don't do the rigging without falling down a lot or knowing how to fall down.
Okay.
So it kind of takes that into consideration. Maybe not the high armor, but they know how to fall.
So say that one more time for me.
7, 2, 3, 9. Dodge, sidestep, and jump up.
And they have general access?
No, they'd have agility.
Just agility.
And everything else would be
on doubles.
doubles.
Okay.
And 110 might be a little low. Probably is a little low. So maybe bring down an armor or something. I don't know.
Okay.
It's just neat. And then we get a couple of unique positions. The boatswain or the bosun. He's a 0 to 1, 7, 3, 3, 8 with pro, wrestle, and stab for 100K.
Okay.
He's basically the guy who tries to keep everybody in charge or in order, and he's the guy you leave him back to take people down. And if he wants to stab somebody, he can, or he can wrestle them, or he can do whatever he needs to because he has pro. I thought it, too, would be kind of neat if somebody had a starting pro. Then the biggest guy for the team as a roster position is the quartermaster. Just one, 0 to 1 position. 120, again, probably too low. I did have a chance, I just didn't do this. Leader, stand firm, and juggernaut. 5, 4, 2, 9.
5, 4. Jiminy Christmas. Oh, 5, 4.
2, 9. 4 strength, 2 agility, 9 armor.
Okay, so it's
Doesn't move much.
So it's like a faster Black Orc.
Mm-hmm. But he starts with leader.
Leader. Okay.
Because he is the leader of the ship.
And you just get one of those.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it kind of negates anyone else from having to get leader. And if you take him off, then the team doesn't do as well.
Okay.
And then stand firm and juggernaut because he knows how to maneuver around the ship. He gets to the edge, doesn't matter. It's still his ship. He knows what he's doing.
Right, and they can not go down as easy with juggernaut.
Right.
So. Okay.
So that's my main positions.
Okay.
I thought up a swabby because I wanted a position like this one didn't get fleshed out as much as I wanted because I couldn't figure out how I wanted to do it. I really like the idea of giving them a skill, kind of like Nurgle's Rot, where if they kill somebody, they take them prisoner. They make it look like they died, but they actually kidnap them and put them on their team.
Right, okay.
So then they're in shackles and they're not as strong or whatever because now they don't really care about fighting, but if they need to, they can.
Okay.
So the initial idea was this was a 0 to 4 position that you can't buy. You can only get by killing somebody and taking them hostage.
That's funny because before I came up with the C swab, because I really wanted to use the name as a swabby or swab, I wanted to do a 0-4 positional with just a crappy human.
That is what this is.
Like a 2 strength, 2 agility. I just go on the line and get my butt kicked.
5, 2, 2, 7.
Wow. Okay.
Dauntless and pro.
Wow. Okay. That's really cool.
So they
Dauntless
are weak,
and pro, but they have a
they
chance.
can't agility. But if they need to take somebody down, there's a chance they can do it.
And Dauntless and what else?
Pro. So it kind of works together.
Okay. How much?
Free. Like I said, you can only get them by killing people.
Okay, but they have to have a value for the roster.
Oh yeah, I guess they would.
Well,
probably 70.
Okay.
I wrote, because I kind of tweaked it in 60, 70, something like that. So that's kind of the main team. And then, like I said, I did star players. I made my own, but I made them still related to the team.
All right. Let's give them to me.
So I wanted an even worse position than Swabby, because Swabbies are your guys who don't really want to be there, but they are, and they just kind of swab the deck, and they're low-level people. I made a cabin boy as a star player. He is someone who is worthless.
Is he like Chris Elliott?
He is Chris Elliott.
Okay.
Kind of. 6, 1, 2, 6. With loner, dodge, sidestep, and diving tackle.
Loner, dodge, sidestep,
and diving tackle.
He's a crappy snotling.
He's a better snotling, but he doesn't have the twitchy or the stunty.
Okay.
But he's 50K. I wanted something that is just enough that if you had 50K, you could take a babe of him.
Okay.
It's kind of worthless. I really don't think he would ever get chosen, but sidestep and diving tackle is annoying. I thought about putting dodge on there, but I think that would be too powerful. I don't know.
Yeah, it's Chris Elliott. I mean, who wouldn't want to play with Chris Elliott?
Just kind of a dumb thing to do.
Okay.
The next one is Master Gunner. So we had the Gunners, but now we have the actual Master Gunner, who is 6'3", 3'6", with Loner, Bombardier, and Hail Mary. And he's 120.
Wow.
So if you want to just sit him back and he's taking pot shots at people, do it. If you need somebody to pick up the ball and run, you can still do it. And if you want to get close and throw at people, go for it. But he's just anywhere he needs to be. He can be in the crow's nest or in the back, just being annoying.
That would be annoying.
And then
send somebody down and hit that dude.
Yeah, pretty much. And then my final one, I thought of doing a sea monster, but I was trying to keep it more as an actual ship and the actual crew, and I wouldn't figure they would be able to actually hold the monster itself.
Okay.
So I have the captain, or Captain Jack, or Captain whoever you want to name him, just the captain.
Captain Morgan.
Or Captain Morgan.
For all those alcoholics out there.
He's 220, but he might be cheap.
Okay.
5'5", 3'9", with Loner, Frenzy, Stand Firm, and Pro. So I wanted him to be like the Quartermaster, but better.
Okay.
So he's stronger, he's more agile, and he's got Frenzy and Pro and Stand Firm.
Because he's drunk, that's why he's got Frenzy.
Yeah, but no Juggernaut. So he might get mad at you and throw you off the side of the deck, but he's still going to have Stand Firm to make sure that you don't go off. He doesn't go off.
That's cool.
So that's more along my lines.
Not bad.
I think we could put our teams together and make 2 nice pirate teams.
We probably could.
But I think, to me, it sounds like I have the smaller ship and you have the bigger
Dude, this
ship.
is where we do our Kickstarter. We make a pirate team. Like that hasn't been done before. I'm pretty sure there's...
We could do that. Anybody who would just have Johnny make after his frogs, we can give him some pirate ideas, and he can get with Pedro Ramos, and we'll have it go through Iron Golems, and all we want is free teams and money.
Well, money's cool.
Money's cool, but free teams is better.
I would think working with Pedro Ramos would just be cool in itself.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Hey, anything else on the making a team? Anything you like or dislike about mine?
Yours is kind of a little bit more out there, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I like the idea that you seem to be rocking a lot of pro, so you kind of rely on
Luck.
a little bit of, pirate's luck or whatever you
Yeah.
want to say, dead man's hand or any of those little terms. You almost could go 80,000 on rerolls
Yeah. I thought about that.
because your guys come with pro.
And the one guy has leader already.
Right.
So, and I would have no problem with that.
I think our both our ideas aren't too bad. It's just two different styles of pirates.
Yeah, and I chose not to do the new skill because I tried to keep everything with the original skills, but I did like the idea of just kidnapping people and putting them on your roster for free.
No, I think that's a really cool idea. I mean, that's a different approach.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to do something really very similar to that too, but I wanted to stick with only the 5 positionals,
Sure.
which is kind of crazy anyways.
Yeah. Well, no one's ever said that we were logical.
So, you out there, tell us what you think about our pirate teams. Maybe you have a pirate team idea.
Tell me that mine is better than Scott's. Or
That's-
lie and tell Scott that his is better than mine.
Right, that's what we want to hear. We want to know who's the best, but
Fight,
we don't want to
fight.
hear who's bad.
Right.
Let's just make up a roster and fight it out on a pirate ship.
Okay, well, that is what we're going to be doing.
How cool would that be?
I have absolutely no problem with this. Okay, we'll have the episode up a couple of weeks. Get us your thoughts on both rosters. Let us know how to improve them. Anything we can. We'll put up the rosters on the website. We can do that, right?
What do you mean?
Like, just have it show what we said so they can find it. We'll post it to the forums or something.
We could make a... Yeah, we could
We
put
can
it
figure-
in Excel and make a PDF or something
Okay.
of it. Put it-
So we will have our rosters. We'll give everyone, 2 weeks? 2, 3 weeks? Well, it'll probably be later than that. But we will listen to your suggestions. We will flesh out 2 separate teams of pirates. One for Steve, one for Scott. And if you want to
why are we listening to them? Because they're going to say like...
well, we still have final say. But
Because everybody thinks you're the guy who like, oh, thanks, Steve, for sending me dice. And I don't get any credit for any of that stuff.
you don't do any of it. You don't email people. You don't send them stuff.
I'm part of the
buy
podcast.
You're part of the podcast, absolutely.
Without me, there's no podcast.
This is true, absolutely.
There is. It's just not a good podcast.
No, I wouldn't do it.
I mean, as the main guy, though, I need tweets that say, thank you, Scott and Steve.
Okay.
I'm just giving you a
Yeah,
hard time.
no one cares. That's fine.
I know nobody cares. There's a few people who care.
Anyway, so
No, I think that's a cool idea.
I think we will play this team on a pirate ship and figure out whose is best, and we'll record it, and everybody can listen.
we need to let Alan design the pirate ship just on a piece of foam core,
He would love that.
and then we'll just kind of draw it out. It'll be really crude,
Yeah.
but he could design the pitch. That way, neither one of us are slanted towards we made up our own pitch.
Okay. I'm cool with that.
Or we could just set out a field, and then we could tell him place objects where
Okay,
the
so
stuff is.
we're going with our pirate teams. People are more than welcome to send in suggestions, names, however you want. We will... Let's go ahead and give it until next episode, because that'll probably be the middle of next month anyways.
So we're going to shoot to play our game after the next episode?
Yes.
Okay.
And we'll finalize everything for next episode. And then... So we
Off
also
the cuff fun right here.
we want to hear feedback onto which rules and if we need to tweak anything on the pirate rules.
I would say at this
We
point...
need to do a little bit change the fan factor to fame and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think we're going to go with these 2003 annual ones.
Yeah. That'll
Unless
be
somebody really points us in the right direction.
No. And then, we'll have a pirate off.
Pirate off.
Our
For the booty.
Will and Gabriel, this is all your fault.
Yeah.
If they didn't do a pirate-themed tournament, we wouldn't have a pirate-themed episode, and we wouldn't be agreeing to having a pirate off.
Yeah, I don't even really like pirates, to be honest with you.
I think they're cool, but
They're dirty.
they are.
They all smell like butt.
I would not know.
I mean, they probably stink. They're like homeless people.
They have a home. It just is like a giant shopping cart.
Around fish,
Yeah. Yeah, it can't smell good.
and I'm not being degrading to homeless people. I'm just saying.
Or pirates.
Or pirates. I mean,
Yeah.
just saying that they don't probably have showers on a boat.
Oh, I'm sure not. No. No, and all day in the hot sun, just baking,
Yeah.
putting tar on the, I don't know, pitch on the planks. I don't know what they do.
All right, so we're not going to bathe either for a month.
No,
so we
not,
smell
not
like
agreeing to
pirates.
that, no.
And we're going to eat fish. We going to do Long John Silver's?
Yes. Yes, we are.
No, I cannot do
No,
that.
we are.
Steve, we've already discussed this.
We get once a year. We have not done it this year.
Oh, God. That's like asking for the poops.
We can do Captain D's if you can find one.
We'll talk about this further.
Okay. Or we can just get good fish and chips or something.
All right, let's wrap up this segment.
Oh God, we better wrap it up before we start saying we have to talk like pirates and dress like pirates and all that. So, don't send in those suggestions. We can easily veto them when we're not talking.
Arg.
Hey, we'll be back with shout-outs.
Hear ye, by royal decree of His Highness King Benjamin Burton Quire, the Kingdom of Kansas City, located in the lands of misery, is hosting an NAF-sanctioned Blood Bowl tournament of opulent excess, the Royal Open. This will be a 3-round tournament starting at 10 a.m. on June 18th, hosted by Tabletop Games and Hobby of Overland Park. Prospective coaches will be given 1.2 million crowns to hire players and staff, as well as an additional 150,000 crowns for skills, 200,000 for those stunty buggers. King BBQ loves to see expensive star players, so any star player costing over 250,000 automatically gains fan favorite. Additional rule information can be found on the Royal Open Facebook page. All attending coaches will receive a set of royal dice and a barbecue lunch catered into the store. Awards will be given for a variety of prizes, with the top players receiving actual crowns as their prize. Minor award winners will be given generous land deeds from the king himself. Entry into the tournament is $30, which includes the lunch, $10 in store credit for pre-registrants, which can be used towards snacks, games, or whatever you fancy, and free entry into Peasant Bowl. Speaking of which, for folks planning to stay the weekend in the kingdom, Tabletop Games and Hobby will be hosting the Peasant Bowl on Sunday, June 19th, starting at 11 a.m. It'll be a 3-round NAF-sanctioned street bowl tournament, a great, super violent end to the weekend. Interested coaches can email the tournament organizer at kcbloodbowl@gmail.com.
And now it's time for everyone's favorite part of the podcast.
What's that?
Shout-outs!
You can't steal that.
I didn't. That was you.
No, that was not
That was
me.
you.
Because I go, shout-outs.
Yeah. See?
See?
That was you. I
Now-
wouldn't do that.
Of course you wouldn't. I am shocked that you did that because that's so unlike you.
Why?
It's because you're fresh out of the shower. You're all frisky.
Both down after dark, baby. Oh, yeah. All right, so first off, I'm going to, since we did have a few days in between recordings, I was able to get some questions in to Rick with Iron Golems, who do the Pro Box Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
And if you haven't looked at it, it's really cool with the box. It's 2 dugouts and everything, like I said.
Pro Box!
Pro Box! Yeah, I can't do it now. So my first question to him was, you have a list of unlockable stretch goals. If the goals are not met, are you still going to offer the items? And particularly, I was worried about being able to purchase additional players to finish off the teams. And he stated that they always try to do their best and they're not leaving anyone hanging. I'm paraphrasing because his English isn't the perfect. Like the mine is.
Like yours is.
Exactly. He said, that said, the campaign structure has a reason behind it, and they need funds to produce the product. So they actually want to hope that everything keeps going as well as it is now. And he said that in their last campaign, at the beginning, the goals seemed to be unreachable, but by the end, they were running out of things to add. And you were part of that, right? The dwarves?
Yes.
And at the end, they kept going higher and higher. And
Yeah, the Iron Forgers.
yeah, that was the name.
Yeah.
Okay. And he hopes that this time something similar will happen. Anyways, if they don't reach the stretch goals, his priority will be to get the remaining miniatures for the base teams done, which isn't a big deal.
Right.
It'd just be nice to have all of them as part of it. So if you're out there, go and buy into this. And then the next question was, the cases under the dugouts haven't been shown clearly. As far as I could tell, I didn't see any pictures.
I didn't know either.
And I was wanting to know how many figures can fit in each one, and if they're going to be customized or if they're plucked foam, as in if they make them pulled out already or if you just do it yourself. And he stated that each of the 2 foam trays have room for 15 standard miniatures, 25 by 50 millimeter slots, and 3 bigger slots, 60 by 50 millimeter for big guys, tokens or dice, and however. And they have the depth of 32 millimeters. And the idea is that you can carry 2 full teams and all the stuff you need inside the Pro Box. They will come pre-cut in the configuration, and they don't have plans to make custom trays at the moment, but say that their size is very similar to other brands' trays. And he actually provided us a blueprint for it. And we'll put that up on the website, if I remember to give it to Scott. And it looks pretty cool. Like, you can put all your figures on there. If you have a bigger team, like I said, you can probably go out and buy a different one to put in there. Or, realistically, if you're taking this to a tournament, it's just going to be all your stuff anyways. And you have both boxes, so you can fully put a team and all your miniatures and sideline figures and dice. And
that's cool.
All kinds of stuff. So then we were talking about the choice of teams, and humans are pretty standard. I asked him why he chose Dark Elves instead of the traditional Orc. I prefer the Dark Elves because I'm not a huge orc guy, despite being in Oklahoma. And he goes, there are 3 reasons. First of all, he's in conversations with Pedro Ramos to make an Orc team. But he's very busy right now, and it wouldn't be in time for the Kickstarter. So eventually they're going to have an Orc team, probably also for Kickstarter, by Pedro Ramos, which will be awesome. But not in time for the Pro Box, so they had to choose another team. For that, their choice was to find something that had a lot to offer, make from some good sculpts, and wasn't a whole lot out there that people were really able to find. There's really not a whole lot of Dark Elf teams out there. There's, the Succubus ones, and there's a lot of female ones, but not actually just regular Dark Elves.
In my opinion, and please don't get offended with this, but there's some Dark Elf teams out there, but I don't like the models.
Right. And that's understandable. To each their own.
Some people don't like my 3rd edition models, so...
Exactly. He said the 3rd reason was his first team back in the late 80s was a Dark Elf team called the Blackfire Chevaliers. I assume that's how it's said. He's Spanish, I don't know. So he said, face it, when you start a miniatures company, there are always reasons like this behind it. So he gets to make his own team. That's awesome.
Well, good for him.
Next, I asked him about the possibility of making custom boards, because they're including one board and a stretch goal is another board. They're printed on both sides, so it'll be like 4 pitches. And they're not looking into doing anything customizable at the moment, but they will be nice and we'll try to see what they can do in the future. But nothing right now. And then if there was any hints on the next campaign, he wouldn't give anything up.
Shut your face, Steve.
Pretty much. He said that they're a small company, so he's just trying to focus on the current stuff. But since, he dropped the orc stuff, I'm guessing there's probably a future one. And I asked him if there's anything else that he'd like us to know or to tell people. And he says that he's put a lot of effort into the project during the last year and a half, and it bears fruit because the PDF of the trays, it has a date, and I think it was last May. So he's been putting this into a long time. And he said it's possible maybe to do better stadium cases, better resin scenery, or maybe even better teams, but for the product, it's very good, resistant carrying case, very good looking scenery, dugout and stadium, a fully functional magnetic scoreboard with 2 great teams for a very tight price, probably fine price, and we're only able to offer due to the Kickstarter campaign. And in short, that's what he wants to do. He's trying to put out good product, and it looks awesome. Like I said, I'm in for the full, top level.
Of course you are.
Well,
you don't have those teams. That's okay. I'm looking forward to playing on your stadium.
Yeah, and I thought it'd be cool, just like I said, to have something to take to tournaments and show off. And seems like a great guy. He's put out. Honestly, looking at the dwarf team is why I'm doing it, because that dwarf team, everybody who's gotten it has loved him.
Oh, I agree.
So, and after having that, I was like, well, this will be cool.
If I had some extra money, I'd probably get this too.
Yeah.
But knowing that you're going to get it, I still think I'm going to regret not getting it.
Yeah.
But, maybe he'll do another one of these. Honestly, if this one goes well, you would think maybe he'll do different pitches with different teams going forward. And
Easily, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Pro Box accessories pack.
So what if the next set was...
So you could do orcs and goblins with a custom pitch for each side.
Or Skaven and orcs or whatever.
Right, yeah.
But in a custom pitch every side. And that would allow new players to get like 2 teams.
That would be neat.
And some custom pitches,
Yeah.
So.
And honestly, like I said, for $200, you're getting a carrying case, a pitch with 2 sides, so 2 pitches, and 2 teams, and all the scenery stuff, and block dice, and D6. It's everything you need for 2 people to play.
Sure, I agree. I think it's a great deal. We'll find it's going to be interesting within the next year and a half when we find out how big the Blood Bowl pitch is going to be from Games Workshop.
I don't think it really matters. No matter what they do, most people are just going to stay on the same stuff. If we want to play in a GW store, we might have to adhere to the new sizes.
Right.
But
well, cool. I'm glad that he got back to you, though.
Yeah. I got back really fast. I was glad we chatted some more, and it seemed really nice.
Did you ask him how his day went?
His day went very well.
Okay.
He was busy the night that I tried to get information, but he was able to reply the next day.
Well, you didn't send him any naughty pictures, did you?
No, I try not to.
Okay, that's good.
I save that for my fans.
Yay!
And that's nobody.
That's why they love you.
Nobody.
Little Kilowoggy.
You say little. You're not wrong.
I mean tiny. What other shout-outs you got there, buddy?
Well, I do owe a shout-out to Phil Bonarek. It's a correction. It's a correction from a long time ago, though. We were discussing the game expansion Sudden Death.
Correct.
Remember?
Mm-hmm.
And I kept saying Sudden Impact instead of Sudden Death, and I was getting them confused.
And I think I referenced something about Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Right. That Sudden Impact was a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. Nope. Sudden Impact was a Dirty Harry movie. Jean-Claude Van Damme did Sudden Death and Double Impact. So that is why we were confused.
Okay. Well, I've never seen Sudden Impact, that's for sure.
Right. So Phil was going back and re-listening to stuff, and he just wanted to fill us in.
Wasn't there a lot of Dirty Harry movies?
I think this was the 5th one. So yeah,
There's 5 of them?
mm-hmm.
I've never seen any of them.
I'm sure
Clint
I've
Eastwood
seen
ought to do
some.
one more of those.
That would be cool.
One final Dirty Harry thing, and
He just goes off and kills everybody.
and then dies at the end.
Dirty Harry versus aliens.
Or it could be like Dirty Harry XXX, and then it could be
Dirty
really
Harry.
dirty. Really
Harry and dirty.
dirty. Harry dirty.
Ugh.
No, I'm surprised they haven't thought that. I mean,
That's true.
oh well.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Phil, for paying attention to details and re-listening to our episodes. We really appreciate that. So
Yeah.
it's nice to get feedback from somebody who's listening to them all again and talking about how great we are.
It's the second person who's doing that. You want to give out a shout out to the other one, who we know is listening?
To Tim Walker.
Tim Walker, indeed.
Tim Walker loves our podcast.
He was so happy he got mentioned on Slipcast.
Well, I mean,
He was like not as happy as when we mentioned him, but you know.
well, of course, because
Right.
we're the first best podcast. But we're
Not the first, but we are the best.
I was a little disappointed in the latest episode of Slurpcast. I don't think we got a mention. We might have, but like
I'm sure we did at some point, yeah.
there's usually always a couple references.
It's not always about us. On our show, it's about us. On other shows,
I'm
it's
a
fine.
little disappointed that we don't get talked about too often from the podcast over in England.
Oh. Well,
Anything but a one doesn't talk about us, and Double Skulls doesn't mention us.
they've mentioned us. They may be mentioning us more in the future.
I want
Dun, dun, dun.
to be mentioned on every other podcast that does Blood Bowl,
Yeah.
because I'm like, look at me, I'm the pretty girl.
You're not a pretty girl.
Like me on Facebook.
Okay. I will.
No, I'm joking. I'm just giving him a hard time.
Another shout out for Major Tusk, Andy Welton, who's actually holding a tournament in Urbandale, Iowa, just outside of Des Moines on May 16th for MomCon, which is Muse on MinisCom.
MomCon.
Probably heard this on Slurpcast, and they made mom jokes. So
That's the natural place to go.
it is.
I mean, come on.
How can you not?
Major
Yeah.
Tusk probably loves the moms. He's like, give me some of that, mom.
Yeah.
I'm gonna film that on my channel, on my whatever channel.
CrippledSystem.com.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, that's where their podcast is.
Okay, crippledsystem.com. That's where he does it. He's like,
Yeah.
give me a mom. I'll rough her up.
But we'll have a link for that on our website as well, in our show notes. And you should have already heard our advertisement for Royal Open, June 16th in Kansas City, which Scott is going to because it's free barbecue.
I'm not going.
You suck, dude.
Let me tell you who sucks.
Everybody who's putting tournaments on the weekends that I have my kids, because my kids are so important, I can't change one weekend, because that'll drive them insane.
Yep, pretty much.
Okay, I'm glad we've got that figured out.
This is such an easy choice for the guy with no children that
Yeah.
he takes care of.
Right. That I know of.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, whatever. Some of us have priorities.
I know that. It's good that you get out and make new friends.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
What do you mean?
That's fine. You just stay here at home and not do anything because you're sad and have kids.
Right.
So sad.
I'll sleep in your bed while you're gone.
So I need to get another lock for the door. Got it.
Another lock.
Oh, and then I guess the last thing is the Iron Golems does end May 5th. So kind of need to get your pledges in on that one.
So by the time this is out, you have about 2 days.
This should be out well before that.
Well, we hope.
Should be.
Yeah,
We'll see.
We'll see how it goes. We might be dodging weather all week. Let's hope not. But
Let's not get into that.
no, let's not do that. So what else? What else we got to talk about?
That's it.
So, shout out to Joseph Roberts, who you've already shouted out
Right.
for running the con, but he was
I don't know if I mentioned it, but yeah.
he's doing the Empire Cup or whatever it's called, but
It's not that.
Empire Brawl.
Nope, not at all.
It's called the Royal Open Cup.
There you go.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. He
Empire
was asking,
was Zuckerman.
He was asking me about Fortune and Glory on Facebook because I posted some pictures of us
the game?
playing.
Yeah.
So if you like Indiana Jones and you like to roll lots of dice for everything you do, including moving and passing tests, and then laughing at your friends when they fail those things, Fortune and Glory is like playing Alan Quartermain and Lost Cities of Gold in a box. I really liked it. So
Cool.
I'm just giving a shout out to a game that's like 5-6 years old,
Well, that's not bad.
but really
On
enjoyed
the
it.
podcast for a game that is 30 years old.
That's true. So I told Joseph instead of him buying it, he needs to play it first. So we got a tentative game for around Nuffleween time.
You know what you could do?
I could go up to the
the
Royal
tournament.
Open Cup and take it with me.
Right. We can go the day before, hang out,
Okay.
go to the Negro League Museum,
Oh,
We can
I would actually love to do that.
eat barbecue, play a tournament on Saturday, eat barbecue. Sunday, wake up, eat barbecue,
Okay.
and then come back.
Maybe
and
next
stop
year?
for barbecue.
Maybe, dude, I wouldn't have a problem at all with that.
No.
I don't know the last time I went. Like, I've had barbecue too much lately.
Does not exist.
We had barbecue today.
Smoked meat? Sir, it's surely you jest.
I think that wraps everything up, man. I know I'm probably forgetting anything, but shout out to Will and Gabriel once again for running a great tournament. We had a lot of fun. And
Get us feedback on our teams.
somebody pointed out today, I was playing Alan in our league matchup, which I won 2-0 because
You kept breaking armor on dwarves.
it didn't help that.
You casually like 5 of them.
Yeah, it helped. Anyways, Alan mentioned that, like, he's like, does any other podcast, you guys got first and second. He's like, has any other podcast done that at a tournament? And I was like, not that I know of. And I said, actually, we've done that twice now.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, there's definitely not a podcast that's done that. So basically what Alan's saying is maybe we should start a spin-off podcast where we talk about strategies. And I'm joking. I jest.
Wow.
Of course I jest.
Okay, so strategy for elves, I guess take sidestep on everybody? Because it came in really handy. And then knock people off the boat.
And get angry and pissed the whole day and have to, listen to music to calm your inner beast. And,
Don't care about the game, care about the food.
dude, that's a great
That's
slogan.
our logo.
That's great.
Both down. Don't care about the game, care about the food.
That's a T-shirt.
No, it's not. It could be. If you want that T-shirt, let me know. I'll make it for you.
I might have to get one of those for Chaos Cup. That'd be awesome. Anyways, we are rambling on. Get back with us on the Pirate Challenge, and we'll see you in a couple weeks with another New Both Down.
Both Down is brought to you by Wizards Asylum, your premier source for comics and games in Norman, Oklahoma. Check them out online at their new home, wizardsnorman.com.
You can follow Both Down on Twitter at Both Down. You can follow Scott at Fat Finley, FATFINLEY, and Steve at Kilowog2814. If you'd like to email, their email address is bothdownpodcast@gmail.com. Or for more information, you can visit them at bothdown.com or on Facebook, facebook.com/bothdown.
Treat me like a pirate and give me that booty. Treat me like a pirate and give me that booty. Treat me like a pirate and treat me like a pirate and treat me like a pirate and give me that booty. Ha ha. Yo ahoy, matey. I see a cutie. Freaky little thing with her treasure booty. Yeah. Fine dime, honey, so I think she kinda snooty. I don't really care. I just wanna see her nudie. Captain Floors hit a pillage and plunder. Coming for that booty, then I'm going down under. Got my long sword, not to kill, but to pleasure. Deep sea diving, searching for her treasure. I'm a debonair, buccaneer with no fear. I want what I want right now, give it here. You with the stretchy pants, color lavender. Come bring it to the floor, girl, let me see your rear. Like, there she blows, she blows. Go. Walk the plank, go for your toes. Show me your treasure, chest, move it around. Baby, get ready, it's a bitch. Treat me like a pirate and give me that booty. Treat me like a pirate and give me that booty. Treat me like a pirate and treat me like a pirate and treat me like a pirate and give me that booty. Treat me like a pirate and give me that booty. Treat me like a pirate and give me that booty. Treat me like a pirate and treat me like a pirate. Treat me like a pirate and give me that booty.
Hummer, coming for your battleship. And when I bomb it, I'ma make the whole thing flip. And when I sink it, I'm gonna thank her. She's my first mate, packing hard on my anchor. I'm a pirate, but slaying is my game of trade. I'm in the deep sea, searching for a mermaid. And when I find her, she's gonna be my cannon. And we're gonna battle till I am the last one standing. Now are you ready to be my little lady? I don't like using swords cause I'm thick like a machete. I don't wanna get you seasick, so you need to keep it steady. When my missiles hit, you gonna change your name to one I bet he. There she blows, there she blows. Walk the plank, go grab her toes. Show me your treasure, let me smack your barrel. I wanna feel your juices seeping through my bone.
Treat me like a pirate and give me that booty. Treat me like a pirate and give me that booty. Treat me like a pirate and treat me like a pirate and treat me like a pirate and give me that booty. Treat me like a pirate and give me that booty. Treat me like a pirate and give me that booty. Treat me like a pirate, like a pirate. Treat me like a pirate and give me that booty.
Call me what you, I found that map. X marks the spot to the thing, that's a fact. Cause once I find that treasure, your booty I'ma measure. Then we set sail to my bed, call me clever. Now tell me how you living. My future misgivings, her thighs so thick she kicks mules for a living. See, I rap and I sing for my team, Michael Bivins. Never trusting a booty or a smile, that's a given. I sail the 7 seas because I never stop her. That treasure's so big it fits in Davy Jones' locker. When you board my ship, I got a no-hand salute. I hope you don't mind, I'm in my birthday suit. Now she blows, now she blows. Walk the plank, touch your toes. Show me your treasure. You do whatever. Only you can do it better. Just
treat me like a pirate and give me that booty. Treat me like a pirate and give me that booty. Treat me like a pirate and treat me like a pirate and treat me like a pirate and give me that booty. Treat me like a pirate and